I managed to pull off in the last 1 second the getting the Phoenix hooked up. That was pretty rough for a second there.
Uh-oh. Well, we are here now.
Yeah, we're here. I did it. We managed to do it. We're live on Twitch and we're live on YouTube. So yeah, whoever likes to be wherever they're at gets to be wherever they prefer. So that's nice. Got that going for us.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's nice. I was just having a little bit of hard time watching both chats just because of the way I have things laid out, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, this week has been really fun. Yeah. You have kept us all very entertained, Shesh. Thanks a lot.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm a helper, man. I don't know. I've been so busy, man. People are keeping me on my not even really on my toes. Like, it's not hard. I'm just busy. Like, it's not hard to sweep your floor, but if somebody's shitting on it every 30 seconds, it's keeping up is a little bit of work.
Oh, yes, we will need the popcorns today again, Jax.
We get Volcano Watch next week, too. Oh, Feline's got a cold. I'm nice. Sorry, that sucks. I woke up today late, and it was snowing. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I hope it gets, like, it's not enough to stay on the ground, but, I mean, nobody expects it to be. It's still just November, but, I mean, it is getting to the end of November, though, so it'd be nice to get some,
Yeah, you know, and it's getting warmer here, so...
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome back to DFF Friday. DFF Friday. DFF Friday.
It's going to be fun.
Yo, what up? Hey, welcome back to Dumbfuck Friday. We're here. We're queer, probably. Allegedly. Depends on who you ask. Depends on who who you are.
Lord Mayonnaise at your service, people.
Yeah, Lord Mayonnaise over here. Mania's just adopted that. Hi Drake, hi Yagamoto, good to see you. Welcome to Twitch chat and to YouTube. We are live on both. My computer does seem to be able to handle it, so if things go weird, we'll find out. Did you enjoy the premiere from yesterday? Did you like that one?
Oh, I loved it. It was a little annoying because I had to be like out of my office, so I was coming in and going out, but I managed to catch most of it, and it was like chef's kiss. Loved it. Good.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Did you have any thoughts? Since, like, I mean, you guys all heard my thoughts. Mani, were you thinking anything? I did find it amusing that Aaron did try. So for anybody who doesn't know, I did a premiere yesterday where I watched some more of Aaron's dumb shittery. And during the premiere, she decided to start sending me DMs. And I was like, what? Why do you think this is a good idea? Do you guys want to see the DM? I'll show you.
Yes. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I'll show you the DM.
My favorite thing is about this whole thing, she keeps saying, let's end this, but at the same time keeps shitting on us. I'm just like, do you know how to end things properly, Aaron? Do you know how this works? And then she doesn't know what rendered services are. That was
pretty
most
funny.
Stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. I was so like worried that I got it wrong because she gaslights so much. I went to Google and double checked the definition of rendered services. I'm like, she's dumb. She's so dumb. She's dumb. Oh my goodness. Why did I ever think that she had some brains? Why? Oh my goodness.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Baka.
So, if you look... Oh, sorry, 1 second.
Lady Lumbo from the live chat. Oh no, her one weakness, her own words. Right?
Oh no, if anything except the words I've said. I had to turn Mania up in my own earballs. Okay. There we go. So this is the DMs. So you can see, let's see if I can, there we go. Is that better?
Yes.
That's good, right? You guys can see that? Mm-hmm. So this was yesterday at 2:30 my time. The video went live at 2. And the last screenshot, like the last time I messaged her was on April 24th, 2022.
More than a year ago.
Which was when she asked me on April 10th. This was when she was in DMs for that time of the month. Talking to you. There's the 24th. You were talking to her on the 25th. This is the day before. Because she asked me...
like going around in people's DMs trying to manipulate people, you know? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will be nice to Shesh here while I pretend that I'm trying to talk to Shesh here, you know? And at the same time, I'll share on Manya, you know, tell her it's none of our business whatever happened between Shesh and Steve when Manya was present in the mod call and in the mediation call. Nuh-uh. Like, okay. Alright.
So,
Like,
but the
and
thing
now
that...
you're coming in again.
And this is what she had sent me. So this is the screenshot of that account that she was talking about in the video that I was watching that she was talking about. It's this one. It's this Cheshire cat, just Cheshire cat. And it says, "This isn't you, is it? I'm saying this in not so much a question tone, but as a realization I've just come to, but I'm still clarifying with you." What? So you know it's not me, but you're asking me if it's me just in case it is me?
Why didn't you ask that account? Shesh, is that you? Did you message that account? Because at that time, I think so a year ago, you could message people if you wanted to, like even if you're not following them.
It is very much not me. Anyway, so what she sent to me is here's a link to the TRO. You can see there is nothing stating I can't discuss anyone. So she doesn't know what a protective order is. She doesn't know what a TRO results in. Fine.
Aaron, do you have a lawyer? My question is, Aaron, do you have a lawyer? Girl, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I figured you should have he facts at least.
Have what?
Have he facts. She means
Have
the
he
facts.
What?
Yeah, she misses.
Oh, okay.
She just misspelled. Have the facts.
Alright.
Which is okay, fine, great. But I'm not talking about your TROs and stuff.
Right?
There's
That premiere was not about the TRO. What the fuck are you trying to achieve here? Are you trying to distract us?
Also,
Am
the
I too
stream
funny,
you're
you guys?
the stream you're playing.
Hello,
I'm
testing.
wondering.
Hello,
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like she thought my premiere was live and she was trying to send me stuff while I was live.
Probably she thought you were live streaming and present in that live stream but she premieres shit all the time. She should know. She should be able to figure out whether it's a premiere or whether it's a live stream like this one. Like, huh? Nani?
So also the stream you're playing, I meant for members only and was still sick. I mean, it's obvious you were sick. And
And the thing about members only, it's not members only. You might have put a subscribers only. You didn't put in members only because we wouldn't have been able to access it then, because we are not members to your channel. You idiot.
well, okay, but hear me out.
Right?
Hear me
Yeah,
out
go on.
though. Hear me out. If it was for members only, why are you admitting that the content that you're putting out for your members is inherently worse? You know, the stuff they're paying for.
Right?
And
Oh my god.
and why are you talking? Why was she talking directly to me and you in a video we were never supposed to be able to see unless we paid for
Yeah, she
it?
was. Yeah. So was she trying to force us to pay her something in order to? Again, she's trying us to approach her rather than her approaching us, like she's always done. Assume that people will come to her like she's some kind of like a privileged person, or you know, something like that. That people
mean
will
like
come running to her.
You mean she's entitled?
Oh boy, she's like that old white lady, like pure white lady, like Germanic, whatever that stuff. White entitled lady. That's what she is. And also, Aaron, if it was members only, we would not have been able to access it. I can still access it. You know, like Veda did when she discussed a TRO after it got dismissed, and she then made it members only, and we can't access it anymore. For some reason, she made it members only. I wonder why. So yeah, that's how members only works. Maybe what you had done was subscriber only. That's possible.
On the
But
other hand,
I don't know. I won't know.
On the other hand, there's one other thing. Sorry, I'm gonna get to EMP super chat, or sorry, Jack's super chat real quick, but in a second. But there's just one more thing I wanted to point out. You're addressing stuff that we've publicly said, or I guess that I've publicly said.
Yeah.
But you're trying to do it in members only, so you're trying to purposefully lie behind a paywall so that way you can't be corrected and nobody can tell you you're wrong. Like, everything, as soon as you said it was meant to be members only, tells me that's none of the good things. Those are all bad things. None of this is good.
So you're trying to isolate your audience more so they can't go around and, so
you're
no
sending
one
your
can
audience,
come in and correct the narrative.
You're
right?
sending your audience off half-cocked.
Yeah, and you're setting them up to fail. And number two, the way you were displaying the tweets by zooming them out as far as possible so you could strawman our arguments or what our issue was, and then try and bring that
so your
down.
audience can't read the tweets you're sharing. Yeah.
If she had if she was like, yeah, okay, I can't zoom in, the quality of the screenshot is not that good, here's the link to the thread, right? If she would have done that in the live chat, that would have been good enough, right? But she wants her audience not to come to our space on our Twitter and read what we are talking about. She is so desperate, and this is such a shitty move on her part, so dishonest.
And so
why are you lying to your audience?
It's not my best stream, but shit happens. Okay, yeah, whatever. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about that. Also, I have most tweets of mine, Sharla's, and others saved, as well as the DMs where she conspired against people. So
that's a very bold claim.
She conspired against which people to do what?
Number one.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm happy to share if you like, but here's this for now. No, I don't care.
We don't care.
Hey, Aaron, was it swatting?
Yeah, let's start from there, shall we? That's where we would like to start from. And before that, were you lying when you made fun of Sheshi's work? When you're mocking her work? Yeah, well, let's start from there. That's what we would like.
Anyway, this is really, really dumb. I don't know why she thinks that going while watching a premiere video, because she was watching it because she would have had to watch it to know what was going on. Well, she's watching a premiere video talking about how dishonest she is in DMs versus public. She thinks the appropriate thing to do is to go into DMs. That's some big brain shit right there.
When the last time what she did was, to me especially, was try to gaslight me and try to treat me as if I'm an idiot.
Right.
Like, why would anyone... We know what you do in messages. How you talk to people, how you treat them like they're stupid or they don't know what they're talking about. Why would we talk to you in private? So you can take the screenshots and then go and then do a members only live stream where you zoom them out and then you build a straw man and then you try to create a narrative that's not the narrative so you can demonize us again. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Nah, that's not happening, girl.
So Jack for 20 said, there's nothing like seeing a person addicted to their own cognitive dissonance to see how cognitively dissonant they are. Welcome to reality, Aaron. It's about time you learn how to at least try and cope with it. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, and I just thought I'd update, since I did talk about it a little bit. I figured I would properly share as intended.
Also,
as intended.
Before we head on to our next segment, Bakery from
the
live chat said
made a very good point. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. They said she could have joined the side chat, but she was too chicken for that.
Mm-hmm.
The side chat was open. Ours wasn't members only or subscribers only, Aaron. Right? Oh my god, I've started referring to channel as ours. It's mine.
Oh shit. Hostile takeover. I did tell all three of them that they could come and talk to me if they wanted on a stream. None of them have taken me up on the offer. You know, that thing that Aaron was complaining about with nonsense, and I was like, hey, listen, it's open. I got a call open right now. I got a spare one off to the side. Anyway, I do have one other question for you before we move on to our main topic today.
I burnt my mouth. Oh my god.
Oh, no. Emma, are you okay?
Okay, let's go. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I survived. My throat survived.
All right.
All right.
Manya,
what's the question?
How do you... when I watched that live stream of Aaron's, which now is premiered, and anybody can go watch it now, Aaron was sharing that all these screenshots she was getting to talk shit on us and lie about us were coming from Tina, I'll cut you. How do you?
Oh my god, I
feel
forgot about that. Oh god.
How do you feel about that?
Tina, you fucking coward. You fucking bitch. Backstabbing cowardly bitch. You were there in that live stream where where Aaron talked about PR. Did you confront her? Like you always claim, oh, I confront Steve on everything that he talks about, you know, on every thing I think he's not doing right. Did you confront Aaron? That bitch, what are you talking about? You knew what PR was. We covered it in the live stream and, in the mediation call we covered on your channel. Did you? No? And why are you still on Twitter anyways? You're not part of any community. Why are you here?
For somebody who likes to pretend they're big shit and then hide behind everything all of the time, especially after all of the help and support she asked for.
Right? Oh, I'm going to start a channel where I'm going to expose Katie Joy's lies and shit and everything. That channel is dead after she accumulated like enough followers to monetize it.
Yeah.
And it's dead now.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Not a name
Where did all that shit go?
No, we've never talked about Tina. Never once. And meanwhile, she's just been in the background trying to collect shit to try and get other people to talk shit on us for her.
Come out in the open, bitch. Come out. Let me see your tweets. What bullshit you have been talking about. I'm not scared to put my shit out, so obviously you got my screenshots. Let's see what you got on your timeline. Let's see how much you have been bitching about us. You know why? Because I'm quite sure that PR tweet that Steve made, he was replying to Tina at that time.
Yep.
If we go back and check it, he was replying to Tina. So she started all that bullshit, and Aaron and Steve both could see what she said. Bitch, come out in the open. Let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. Asshole. Fucking nincompoop.
Alright, so that's how Manya... Is that how you really feel? Is that how you really feel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm just like, you fucking cowardly bitch.
I did get personally, I got a bit of a kick out of it. I thought it was a little bit amusing. I was just like, oh, that's a name I haven't seen in a while.
Right?
What are you doing here?
And it was like, and Aaron, how do you feel about like outing your friend like that? You just threw her under the bus like
whoops. Well, guys, it was supposed to be members only. We were never supposed to see that she was accidentally showing. I guess all of her members know that Tina's like her informant, I guess. Watching us from the shadows. All of those public things that we say.
Yeah.
It's like, you can like just publicly watch us, right? It's public. You're not doing anything special.
And then it's also because obviously Erin needs someone to do the work for her because she doesn't do any research herself. We know that.
Well, she's too busy Tina's gotta do the work for Aaron because Aaron's too busy doing the work for Steve because Steve can't do anything by himself. So therefore, but none of them are succeeding in accomplishing nothing because all of them are bad at it.
Yeah, circle jerk, eh?
Rough.
And it's like, and even when she has an independent person doing the research for her, Erin still gets it wrong. She still gets it wrong.
This guy is unfucking believable.
Oh god.
I think we're gonna get a lot of use out of that one. Anyway, I think in conclusion, Aaron, all we have to say is,
You lie! You lie!
All All right,
I
let's
love
get
that one. I
let's
love
get
that
into
one.
this. Let's get into this twat.
Oh god, this asshole. Oh my goodness.
So this is
Oh,
an
God.
interview with
What?
Pierce Morgan.
Oh my god. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Here's
If
the
Piers
link for-
Morgan does any good. Like we have seen how he,
Yeah.
when BBC interviewed him, how stupid that was. BBC failed, and then he was interviewed by Candace Owens. We know she's a lying bitch.
I do remember Pierce Morgan doing a better job with Andrew Tate than we expected about sex trafficking. Like, at
Yeah.
least on the sex trafficking
Or-
part, he was, like, pretty okay about it.
I don't. Was it sex trafficking or was it like slavery and shit? What was it? To have authority over women. That was the whole conversation, wasn't it? So yeah. So he has set up high expectations for us, for me at least. I have some expectations.
Yeah, my expectation is, like, higher than it would be... higher than it was last time. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Alright.
And yeah, so recently why this I don't know when this why this interview came out, but what recently has happened, Andrew and Tristan Tate wanted to expand their area of travel, and the court refused that appeal. So that's
okay.
So they're back into their box, and and at the same time, the full indictments for both Tristan and Andrew have been released, and I think so. There's an account like Murder for Crayons on Twitter. They're trying to get a translated copy for everyone. So, and I'm sure if you ask them, they will oblige to get your copy. But just be mindful that they are busy. They're a busy person, so they have their own life. So they might not come back to you immediately. So leave a message with them. I'm sure they will come back to you when they have time, or they will make it public anyways. They're trying to do that. I see that in their tweets. So yeah, I'll post their Twitter profile here in the live chat, and you guys can go and have a look. But they did put a summary of the indictment again in one of their tweets. So yeah. So, and then this interview came out. It doesn't look good. Like your appeal was rejected, and then this interview comes out at the same time. It's like, oh.
All right. Let's go.
All right,
oh
let's
wait,
go.
hold on. I gotta do a thing. I forgot to put the thing in. Oh god, bad production. I'm so bad. Why have I fucked this up? No, what have I done? I'm a failure. Okay, we're good.
Oh god.
It's been well nearly a year since we last sat down together. Very different time. It was in my London studio, and 8 days after that, you.
It was in my London studio, and this one has to be here because you're not allowed to leave.
Yay.
I like that little implication. It's a nice little jab
Just
right at the
sneak it
beginning.
in there. He's like, bitch, you
Got
can go
arrested.
anywhere. Why can't you go
What's the
anywhere?
year been like for you?
It's certainly been an interesting one. I've been constrained this entire year. I spent 93 days in a Romanian dungeon, 5 months locked in my house, and now I'm restrained within the country of Romania. So it's certainly been a turbulent time.
The moment
He's so dramatic.
Oh,
A dungeon.
hold on. He said it's a dramatic time, did he say? But he was trying to
Turbulent.
appear so chill on Twitter. Turbulent. Oh, turbulent, yeah. But it wasn't he trying to appear so unperturbed and chill on Twitter that nothing moves him or shakes him? How come it became
Yes.
suddenly turbulent? What happened? What happened, Andrew? What happened, my boy? No, you're not my boy. What happened, you idiot?
I still enjoy, and Godless Scummer points this out, that all of this, the reason Andrew is stuck in this, all looks like it's because he got owned real hard by Greta. The fact that all this, the timing on that. The thing is it might not even be true. She might be completely unrelated, but the timing of it, the fact that she's a part of anti-trafficking stuff, the fact that he got baited by fucking Domino's.
I don't know if it was Domino's or what is a local
is-
brand or something.
I-
But
This is one of those situations where I do not care what is actually the truth. This is my headcanon. I acknowledge that it might not be true and might not be the case, but I do not
the result
care.
matters.
It is too amusing to me to think that Greta was trying to get where he trying to figure out as part of her thing that she was a part of. They were like, Greta, you gotta do this thing, and she's like, I got this. Whoosh, puts on baits this man into going to get a pizza to say where to take
I can
picture to show
think
where
about,
he
like-
was. And then they were just like boom boom boom, FBI open up. This is Steve's headcanon for Charlotte.
I can actually imagine an anime series like where a spy from Romania is calling like Greta.
Calls up
and
Greta.
she's like, no,
Got you,
hold on.
fam.
Okay. Officer Climate Change, your time has come. Show us what you got. And Greta was like, you won't know what hit you. I will make history. And
Opens Twitter. I'm never gonna get over it. I'm never gonna get over it.
This asshole with one
this is-
tweet.
Big fighty tough man loses entire life cause little girl tweet. I mean, she's an adult
listen,
now,
if I-
but it's funnier that way.
Yeah, she was, I think, so 17 or 18 around that time, if I'm not wrong. She was a minor, if I'm not wrong, around that time.
During
Was
this?
she? Or-
No, she's an adult now. She was like around 6.
Now, yes.
When she did her big speech, she was like teenager.
Okay. So,
Alright. Alright, let's actually watch the
but yeah.
interview. Sorry, I'm
Yes,
got
let's
distracted by my headcanon.
When he got arrested, it was all pretty dramatic. The video came out, the world saw it. A lot of people smashing into your home.
Oh, it's loading. It's loading.
Oh, God.
I got a super chat from Godless Scummer that says, do you think the sunglasses are being worn because the fellow inmates in the jail forced him to give him a wink job? Wink.
Or he might have just gotten in a fight with his brother, and his brother punched him, and he's hiding a black eye. Maybe his brother must be like, I'm in all this shit because of you, what the fuck, and punched him straight up. Or it's possible that he was crying like a little bitch before this interview, and he didn't want to show his red eyes that came after. So there can be many reasons, or the studio lights, or whatever the lights they put out are too bright for him. It's possible. It's many reasons, but I'm going with the headcanon again. His brother punched him, and he's trying to hide a black eye.
I think it's
Anything.
probably that he I think it's a hiding thing. I think it's a comfort thing. I think he's like, I'm cooler. I feel better when I wear these, and it's harder for people to read me when I wear these, so I wear these to protect myself.
I look badass.
Letty in the chat said his accent and tone, meaning Andrew Tate's, here are different. It's slightly less arrogant in an attempt to sound more formal with emphasis on consonants. Is Tate, like, trying to impress Pierce by acting British? He might be.
Oh,
he
yes.
might be, like, he might be reflecting
Yes.
and trying to imitate Pierce Morgan. Sorry,
He
I'm just
does that a
gonna-
lot.
Andrew,
He
it's
mirrors
been-
people around him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I stuck in land
Come
of
on.
go fuck myself? I might be stuck in land of go fuck myself. Hold on, I'll fix it.
Oh.
It's fine. This is a thing that happens sometimes. I've noticed that it tends to happen more when I'm trying to stream to both platforms.
Also, I think so. Andrew Tate might be trying to be more cautious with Pierce at this time, because last time Pierce just wore him down and made him admit that he was full of shit. So yeah, and that's why my expectations are very high from this interview. So how much time? How long is that interview again? There were 2 parts, right? One is with Andrew, and the other one is with Tristan, right? There are 2 parts.
There are 2 parts. I've got both parts. One is an hour and 15 minutes long.
Oh, that's not long.
And the other one is 35 minutes, but they're talking about Palestine and Israel.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna watch that one just because that's gonna be a thing.
That's just stupid. That's just like creating a hype around our interview so people would watch more, because that's Israel and Palestine
Yeah.
is the current topic. So yeah, it's like nah.
I don't really
And we
think
don't
I
need an
give 2 shits about what Andrew Tate thinks about Israel and Palestine. I think it's kind of crummy that Pierce Morgan
sex
and
traffickers'
whoever
opinion is
he's
being-
working that we're taking this seriously. Yeah, I think not.
Yeah.
I think no. I think that's really, really dumb.
I would rather prefer Ben Shapiro than Andrew Tate. Let me just say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just gonna get rid of these for now since they're gonna be a
Look,
pain
we are
in the
being
ass.
nice.
We're nice guys. Feline said, did you also notice that people like Tate often try to emulate other people? A lot of narcissists actually do. As well as a lot of people with image perception issues. Yes, yeah, it's, he's reflecting because it's easier for him to not, it's a cop-out. It's a way to not be yourself, and it's a fast and easy way to just imitate the person you're talking to than to process and do things yourself, because now if you're doing that and trying to lie, it's easier if you just try to reflect and convince people that you're right. If you know what I mean. You
can't make a blunder there because you're just imitating what the other person is doing, and they are.
I feel like I'm not explaining that. They're a journalist.
Well.
Yeah, there's that too.
Andrew.
Okay, so we're not gonna have closed captioning for this, by the way, just so you guys are aware. But because I downloaded it. So,
okay.
I just downloaded it while we were talking. I just need to make sure that the audio.
Sometimes we need to do that. Yeah. Sometimes YouTube is like, nah, you're not gonna stream this. Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's also just like a matter of oh no, it's good. All right, cool. Sometimes it's just a matter of like what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. I'm lost. I broke my brain. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
That's a thing that you've got to download, Feline. I don't have it. All right.
Nearly a year since we last
knew it. I kept saying before I was arrested on every single podcast I did, I said, you get 3 lives in the world. The first life, they're going to cancel you. They're going to slander you. They're going to delete your access to social media so you can't defend yourself. The second life, they're going to try and put you in jail for no reason. And if you continue to speak against the power, they're going to assassinate you. Okay. I knew
but he had access to his Twitter and stuff. So what the fuck is he talking about?
For some time.
Yeah.
He still has access to his Twitter. He still has a Twitter. If
he's on an interview. He's on an international interview right now.
Yeah. So he's not getting silenced. The thing is that he had a lot of like accounts or people who had their accounts on TikTok who were promoting his shit. So I don't know what he's whining about. He had all the TikTok platform at his disposal. And then for YouTube, it happened for a while where he got away with, breaking YouTube's policy. And that's what happens when you violate a private platform's, policies. You get yeeted off. So why are you, and that's consequences. That's not like someone trying to cycle you. You got to say what you got to say. So yeah.
I got another bunch of bot followers on Twitch. Welcome, bot followers. Hello.
What the hell is going on?
Vagary makes a good point in the chat as well and says, when did Andrew Tate ever speak against power? Right. He's speaking from a position of authority as a man to enforce a patriarchy, which is already the case. He's not in a matriarchy preaching about creating a patriarchy. He's towing the line, and he's just towing the line in a way that is extreme, while people are fighting against not only a lot of extremism in general, like right and everybody is fighting against extremism, and also people who, so he's got like double people that he's against, but he's already in the position of authority. He's trying to he's got the ball, and he's trying to keep the ball away. He's not playing trying to get the ball, right? Minorities are trying to get the ball. LGBTQ people, trans people specifically right now, and drag queens, for some reason, are getting hyper-targeted. I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know. Like, whatever. It's keep going.
I was on my second life. I kept saying it. I knew it was coming. I didn't know the bullshit reason they'd use.
You knew because you knew what you were doing was.
When you were arrested, you don't speak any Romanian at
Zero.
all, and they didn't speak English to you.
Correct.
So you were taken to a cell. You had no idea what they were alleging you'd done.
I was arrested on the 27th of December, so because of Christmas and New Year's and other problems, they couldn't even translate my paperwork for 2 weeks. So the first 2 weeks I was in a prison cell, I had no idea why.
I don't believe that for a fucking second. That is a big fat fucking lie. There's no way, because they would have had to have translated at least when the police showed up to talk to him, to take him downtown.
Yeah.
I do believe, I
refuse to
believe that the kernel of truth in this bullshit is that it did take them, because of the timing, a long time to translate his paperwork. That I do believe.
Also, I refuse to believe that he doesn't know some broken Romanian. I refuse to believe that. He's been living there for some time. He would have known, unless he has been just isolating himself. So yeah, that's another thing.
It does
He just
seem
been moving
unusual
around.
to live in a country for a very long time and not learn any of the native language that is spoken there.
Yeah.
And usually that's like, if you're not, you're either doing it on purpose or like you're dumb. So it is possible that Andrew Tate is
Pick your
just
poison.
stupid. Like, you'd think he can't order a coffee in Romanian for being in Romania for so long. Like, that seems unusual.
Or he can't order food. How did he order pizzas? Yeah.
How
Or
did
did
you
someone
order
else
the
order
pizza
them
that
for you?
got you fucking cracked?
But yeah, 27 December was the best birthday gift I ever got when he got arrested. I was just like, yes! Yes! Yep.
I was given papers in Romanian. I could read human trafficking, I understood, but I was like, human trafficking who, when, what? None of this makes sense. I waited 2 entire weeks inside of my cell before I was given
It's nice of him to admit he was lying, that he didn't know why he was arrested. You knew.
Yeah.
an English
You knew,
translation,
but
and then I
what,
realized
where,
exactly
why?
how
You should have
ridiculous
had a
the whole
lawyer
case
then.
was. Just to clarify, I am accused of helping my friends get big on TikTok. That is what I'm accused of. I
they're
told
your
some girls I
friends.
know how to post on
Oh,
TikTok.
now it's your friends, okay.
They're friends
Oh, now it's your friends. Okay.
They're not employees now. It's not come work for me. They're not employees
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
They're
friends now. I'm just so all the fellow sex traffickers who were trying to follow in your footsteps, are those the people you're talking about? Is it? His story keeps changing. Can you stick to your story? I don't know what his lawyer is doing. Where the fuck is his lawyer?
The last
I
time
did
we
see that he
watched
was
an interview, he said that he was getting arrested because he made money off of TikTok. That's what
Yeah.
he said last time.
Yeah.
Now it's like I
changed.
made other people money on TikTok. They're also not
I think so.
your
Maybe
friends,
it's the narrative
dude.
that he helped. Yeah, I think so. It's a narrative that he's trying to switch his. I think so because at one point he was saying, "Oh, I helped girls to get famous on TikTok." I think so. Maybe now he's like switch that to, "Oh, it was generally male and females, friends."
Or like, yeah, now
he's
it's
trying
my
to say the
friends,
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girls who he was forcing to make TikTok videos to channel the traffic to their OnlyFans or their porn accounts, they were his friends. Not that he lied to them and he made them think that they were his girlfriends or his partner, a permanent partner in a relationship. No, friends.
Jack points out, makes a good point and said, funny how narcissists always call victims friends.
Ooh, haven't we seen that example this week?
But I thought Aaron thought me and you were we were friends, Manya. We were all friends. We were on like
Right?
we were on a live stream together, and then she snuffed us on the second one while talking shit about us, both publicly and behind
Yeah.
our backs. We were friends.
We were friends.
Were we? Is that how you would describe that?
No.
I love it when people unilaterally decide their relationship with others.
Yeah, without any consent, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
TikTok to become viral when I was at the time the most viral person on the planet. And they are saying I'm a human trafficker for that reason. It is insane.
Well, we'll come to what you've been accused of. It's more serious than the way you've categorized it, but
Nice.
we'll come to that.
Yeah, good.
There is a lot of speculation that the reason the Romanian authorities knew that you were back, because you were en route, I believe, to Dubai for a New Year's Eve party, is that you were interacting with Greta Thunberg on social media and you had a pizza in front of you which came from a well-known Romanian pizza school. Is there any truth to that?
I don't think so. I think that I
don't think so.
A lot of people knew where I was. And
He doesn't want to give her the credit. He does. He absolutely does. He absolutely does think so and does not want to admit it. Listen to the way he says that.
Why would a guy like him, an alpha like him, like lose to a little girl, right?
from a well-known Romanian pizza store. Is there any truth to that?
I don't think so. I think
Hashtag
that they
Romanian
know where I
pizza,
was.
guys.
A lot of people knew where I was. And they had instructions from higher up to teach me a lesson. I was on my second life, and that's exactly what I'm going through right now.
There's an irony to your situation because you always said the reason.
Wait, didn't he say in your first life you get canceled? And he was when did he get canceled before that?
I don't know.
He just described how
Like,
at
this
that
is
time
the
he was
second
in.
life.
No. He's saying
This is the
that.
second
So
time.
he described as the first life is when you get canceled. The second life is when they're da 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 da. But when had he been canceled before this? People didn't like him,
Never.
but he just described himself as
Yeah.
being like the most viral person in the world. So in that case, how
Yeah, so
are
how
you
did he get
canceled?
Very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Dude, can you pick a lane? Pick a lane.
No,
dude.
he can't.
Mm.
He cannot. He cannot.
You came to Romania was precisely because you thought you could avoid being in this situation.
Well, I loved Romania, and it's a strong Christian nation with strong traditional values. I want a life where I'm left alone by government. I don't believe in big government.
Sorry,
I'm
I'm
trying
high
to
on
avoid
coffee.
that. It felt like Romania was a place which was very safe societally, and the government was not too interested or involved in people's lives. But things change. Also, your freedom and your ability.
Yes, the government tends to get involved in your life and care about your life when you start trafficking their people.
Yeah. And you
Imagine
start committing
that.
crimes.
International
No.
crime.
Yeah, sex trafficking is recognized as a crime by the United Nations and all the countries who are part of United Nations. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, and he was trafficking people from different countries to other countries.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
an
that's
international
the-
issue. Even if the Romanian
Yeah.
government didn't care, another country might have cared and told the Romanian government that then the Romanian government needed to care.
It's like I can't believe that he had women like he lured from UK, if I'm not wrong, and the UK authorities were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Right? And because it reflects poorly on UK also. There's this element of this what do you say, reputation of being a safe country to work in, to live in, that that you won't get like lured under false pretenses. Yeah, we do know that through immigration that happens a lot of times already, and on top of them then this moron comes in and starts trafficking women by promising them relationships, and then UK is like, what the fuck? They will put a stop to it, not because you're viral or you're saying the truth or something like that. It's because you're bad for their country and for their people. Simple as that. You're not good.
Last time we watched Andrew Tate, he said he was a Muslim, and Manya, you took issue with that, right?
Yes.
You were like,
Oh yes.
No way in hell.
Oh yes.
And he just said he believed in and wanted Christian values.
See, he flip-flops whatever suits him. And the only reason why he had said that at that time that he was a Muslim, he was in Dubai. If you think about it, he was in Dubai, and in that way he could grift the Muslim community in there. So it was all a grift, because Muslims they stay quite tight-knit. I don't, and I don't blame them. It's a good when it comes to community, Muslims do stick together. And that's nothing against them, but then they start like protecting these dishonest agents like Andrew Tate. So, and around the time when he started saying, "Oh, I believe in Islam and stuff and all that," he was still drinking. He was still smoking cigars. So
He
drinking
shaves
and
his
smoking
head
are again
because he shaves his head because he
shaved his
doesn't like
beard.
because he's not comfortable with the way he looks. Because he feels
with
like
his hair.
because he feels emasculated about his hair. The hair.
The hair.
The hair.
So it was all full of bullshit. So that's what because I back home in India, I do have Muslim friends, and if they knew who Andrew Tate was and what he was claiming that he was a Muslim while what he was doing, they would be like, "What?" So yeah, so it was all bullshit, and I knew it was a grift. It was a grift, and sad. It's sad, really sad. Yeah. And now he is. Is Manya a Muslim or a Hindu or a what? I am an atheist actually, but I was born in a Hindu family, so. But I do have Muslim friends. That's the advantage of having living in a multicultural country. Being born and brought up in a multicultural country like India. So yeah, I have had a privileged upbringing. I will admit that. Yes.
to speak the truth is heavily correlated to your insignificance. When you become large and people start listening to what you say, you soon realize you no longer have freedom of speech. And it doesn't matter where you are on the planet. If they decide you must be assassinated, you will be assassinated.
So part of what he's saying is true. If you look back at the 60s and 70s, in specifically America, a lot of people were assassinated. A lot of people were killed for speaking out, but the thing that they were speaking out against was the Vietnam War. JFK got assassinated, Martin Luther King got assassinated, I'm pretty sure Malcolm X got assassinated, so there was a lot of civil unrest, and it was those people who were fighting for civil rights that were getting fucking killed. Not Andrew Tate being like, let me fuck women. That was...
Yeah.
Let
me have multiple wives. Oh yeah, another thing with the Muslim thing was that he could have had like multiple partners. He could justify why he's fucking multiple women, because in Islam, if you have one wife, number one, you need permission from the first wife to get the next wife, you know, and all that. But yeah, it's not like polygamy is like a default. Monogamy is a default in Islam too. Polygamy is something that it's a drastic thing to go for, actually, if you're looking for a second partner. So yeah, he was trying to use Islam in that sense also, that he could have multiple partners, and he was, again, and there also it was like he did it wrong because he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So
well, he's also, again, conflating free speech with freedom of responsibility. The thing is that as soon as, and I said this before, and I'll say again, as soon as you are a content creator, period, as soon as you hit go live or as soon as you hit publish and you're putting stuff out in the world, you're responsible for the thing that you put out in the world. Now, I have seen, like, there's probably a little bit of pushback there that I can see people giving that says, well, you're not responsible for every single thing an audience member does. No, you're not. An individual doing a thing. So, like, that one person who tried to, like, shoot up a school or whatever and went, like, subscribe to PewDiePie. That's not PewDiePie's responsibility. He's not rhetorically enforcing or enabling or putting out things into the world that would encourage that kind of behavior. It's an outlier, right? And the fact that it's an outlier proves the rule, right? So when you have people like Hassan Piker's audience, and a large number of that audience behaves in a specific way, and it's because Hassan behaves in a specific way, that is, he needs to take responsibility for what he's putting out there because he's enabling it, he wants it to happen, that's where that correlation goes into, right? So, like, I have to be responsible. If you guys believe something, because I've put it out there that this thing is a fact, and I'm incorrect, it is my responsibility to correct you if I see you being wrong and make the correction. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to correct everyone on every single platform. That's not reasonable. But I need to do my due diligence, and I need to do my work to say, hey, listen, I was wrong. Here's what I was wrong about. Here's how and why I was wrong, and here's how I'm going to try to make sure that doesn't happen again. Or sometimes it just slipped by. I missed something. And then if I see you guys repeating it in my chat, it is then my responsibility to stop what I'm doing and be like, no, actually, this is incorrect. Here's why, here's the information, so make sure you go forward with that new corrected information, right? Victim, thank you so much for the sub for 4 months with Prime. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And Kyle's Goldfish is in the live chat.
Oh, hey, good to see you, Goldfish. Been a while. I hope you're getting fed. I haven't heard anything from Kyle in a long time. I hope you're well stuffed.
You in jail. What was that like?
Romanian jail.
What was jail like?
English jail.
Describe it. What was the cell like?
I have to be careful what I say because I don't want to insult the Romanian justice system, which I'm still beholden to. However, it's exactly as bad as people would expect it to be. Luckily, it was in the winter, so the cockroaches were not too bad. It was also during Ramadan, so I didn't have to eat so much, which was helpful because of the situation. I think the most stressful thing about it is I had no idea how long...
Didn't he just say stuff about Christianity and now he's talking about Ramadan?
I was going to be in there for. I was dragged from my house. I was getting papers in Romanian. I didn't know why I was there. I found out why I was there and it was garbage. I couldn't seem to get out. I could have been held for years. It's very stressful. And the best thing you can do is turn to God and train as hard as possible. I did thousands of push-ups a day every
Were
single
you
day.
in solitary in this period, 3 months?
I did thousands of push-ups every day. What does he think he is, Uncle Iroh? No.
No, I wasn't in solitary the entire time. Sometimes I was by myself, sometimes I was with other guys, and sometimes I was with my brother. So
When you were on your own, were they keeping you in there for 24 hours a day? Were you allowed out?
no, I wasn't allowed out. There was no yard time. It was 24 hours a day, locked in a single room, probably 3 or 4 steps large, and you do nothing but stare at the wall. And you.
How many days did you do that for, on your own?
11, 12.
I mean, that's a pretty grim scenario for anyone.
Life's grim.
For you, always being Mr. Confident, you said, interestingly, that you wouldn't categorize what you were feeling as depression because you don't believe in the concept of depression. You and I have argued about that before. But it sounds to me, from what I've seen you say when you've talked about this, that was pretty close to depression, what you were feeling.
Life's grim. And if you want to be a superhero, you have to understand in every single superhero movie, he is losing for 80% of the movie. He's going to suffer for the majority
Oh my
of the movie.
god, this is such an incel shit.
I can't stand to fly. I'm not that
I need a hero.
Men weren't meant to ride with clouds between their knees. I'm more than a bird. I'm more than a plane. Oh my god, this is such. It feels like such a LARP.
I like that Piers Morgan is like. It looks like he's complimenting his like qualities, but what he's doing is he actually like playing with his insecurities. It's so good. I like that. I like that line of questioning. Why? Because Andrew will get overconfident and he will let slip something that he was not supposed to say, and that will be brilliant. If Piers Morgan keeps it up, I think so. He's on the right track. I think.
I shouldn't have associated that song with Andrew Tate. I'm sorry. I like that. Okay, so here's the thing. If he believed that this was actually true, then he would have to admit that he's been losing for 98% of his time online of trying to get the truth out there. But he won't do that. He can't do that. He doesn't believe that.
I am not a failure. I am a failure. I'm not a failure. No, I'm not a failure.
Is he, he's Captain Islam? He's Captain Islam who's out here touting Christianite, like, sensibilities.
Oh god. Next,
man.
what will be next? He will say he's a Hindu, or he's what? What's the next grift, man? Don't come to Hinduism. You're gonna get kicked so hard. You're gonna get kicked so hard.
You think he has the balls to try to grift to China?
Oh, nah, he doesn't. He does not. No. And Shesh is doing this to us.
Wins at the end.
Listen,
I've always wanted an exceptional
I have high
life, Piers,
hopes
and
on
I'm not a
this.
coward.
Yeah.
And I knew that by telling the truth about certain issues, I was going to pay the price for it. So I won't say that I deserve to be in jail, but I certainly put myself in there by telling the truth to the populace and telling the truth and living.
But when you're on your own in that cell, what were you thinking? It's a long time to self-reflect,
This is
right?
good line.
It certainly is.
This is a good
And
line
I
of
think
questioning.
my number one concern when I was in jail, despite the fact that
Piers Morgan is doing like the very bare bones, basic first step in any interview when you're interviewing somebody who may or may not be like somebody who's volatile, right? And and Andrew Tate is volatile. So the first step for any interview or journalistic type thing that you're trying to do is you start with where you agree. And you start with where you allow the person to, you talk about them and let them start talking. And then once they start rolling and you've kind of hooked them in, then you start asking them more difficult questions. Is Piers Morgan going to do that? I don't know. Piers Morgan's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
But he is doing this. But this is a tactic, and he is doing it. Excuse me, he is doing it correctly. So like that, what you would do is you say, because Andrew Tate believes he's a victim. So get him to start talking about himself, about how much of a victim he is, and then once he's rolling, you say, yeah, okay, but what about this? Because, like, it was a softball question to ask if it was related to pizza and Greta Thunberg. It was a softball with one little spike on it.
Basic.
Just a little bit of a spike on it, just to be like, you don't like that, do you? Because he wants him to be, like, he wants to get him emotional, but he doesn't want to get him emotional at Morgan. Morgan wants to get him emotional about other things, so he'll be more open and not closed off to the conversation.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. So for anybody who's and you don't have to do this in like you don't have to be in a professional setting to use this tactic. If you're trying to get to know somebody on a date, talk about them. Like, you want somebody to open up to you, talk about them, ask them about them, focus on them, and then you can get into, like, more difficult things or this, that, and the other thing. You can do it in your workspace if you're trying to, like, get dirt on somebody. Like, that's for good or for ill. You take this power and use it as you see fit.
You want to create chaos? Yeah, start there.
Yep. You need to this is how you get to know somebody, right? This is and you'll see me. I've done this before. Look at the conversation with Gary. It took me a half an hour to get that man to sit up to pay attention to the conversation.
Right? Oh my god.
It was very difficult. But
my situation was
that was
dire.
how long?
One of
I
my
digress.
sons is a man,
6
and all the
hours.
people I have to take care of, and my children, and my family, and the people I pay for, and all the people who work for me. And truthfully, I wasn't worried about myself. I was worried about everybody else. And I think that's the true masculine.
I do
play.
not
Did you get
believe that
emotional?
for a second.
Did you shed tears in your cell?
I'm an emotional man. I think men are hyper emotional. We just have to control it. I was extremely busy.
So
inside
yes.
the
I'd agree on
cell.
that.
I had lots of push-ups to do. I was very concerned about people on the outside. I was trying my best to get out.
Hashtag push-ups.
It's difficult for me to
everybody.
answer the
Hashtag
question
push-ups.
because it was an interesting frame of mind. I knew that God was watching and I had to perform. It's very difficult for me to go through life saying I'm the top G, I'm this, I'm that, and speak about mental resilience and mental toughness, and then the second I'm thrown inside of a solitary confinement cell, cower out. I'm not that person. There's some other people who talk about mental toughness and want to give advice, and when bad things happen to them, they end up addicted to prescription drugs. I'm not a coward and I'm not a liar.
No, but
What is mental toughness that in Andrew
what is
Tate's
it?
mind? Like, and I don't mean by like what a general sense. I'm curious to know like in what he thinks.
I
mental
think for him
toughness
it's
is.
like what he truly thinks. I think so mental toughness is not people know your weaknesses. I think so that's what he thinks mental toughness is. What he wants to project is entirely something else. So yeah. Also, like, he believes a lot of things that he thinks he follows through with, but it's not like that. He believes one thing and then he does another thing, which is which we have seen in narcissist people. They do that. They'll say something, oh yeah, I believe in being tough, I believe in doing push-ups and not giving up when you're in the jail, doesn't matter, blah blah blah, you need to be tough all the time. But in private, they're just bawling their eyes out. So yeah.
To me, it sounds like mental toughness is just what he's describing is just basically suck it up and get through it. And that's not always invalid. Sometimes you need to, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is something that's colloquially referred to as shelving your agenda. You take how you feel about this thing, you compartmentalize it, and you put it to the side and be like, we will deal with this later. We need to deal what's happening. We need to deal with whatever's happening right now off to the side. But what Andrew Tate is describing to me sounds like take it up, package it, put it on the shelf, and stays there. It never comes back down.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy.
No,
But that's just, what do I know? I'm not a psychologist.
but it would be perfectly natural to be emotional in that scenario, and there's no shame in admitting that.
I was emotional. I missed people. I missed them, and I knew they missed me. So I felt a strong sense of missing.
But you cried.
There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry.
And that's crying.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
crying.
thought when
Because
you were
you're
crying, were you
worried.
crying because you were
disagree.
laughing too hard? Were you crying because you were laughing too hard?
Is
If
that
not, then
one
that's
scene?
crying.
What you ever see the one that image or video that goes around America every so
With the
often? That's
mask?
the one Indian, the old Indian chief with the one tear running down his face. That's who Andrew Tate thinks he is right now. I'm not crying, I just had manly tears and a stone cold face. Don't let her see you cry, old boy.
Hold it together. No.
Oh, man. Oh, he wasn't crying, it was actually just sweating through his eyes from all the working out he was doing.
About admitting that you think it sounds weak.
Absolutely not. That's a perfectly fine scenario to cry in, but I think the act
This is
of
good.
crying
This is
is an
good.
act of desperation. To sit and to cry is an act in and of itself. To do push-ups,
Look at the way he's
picking up
holding
your
himself.
children with tears running
Yeah.
down your face, but you're
So
concerned
tense.
with
Oh my
finishing
God.
as many push-ups as possible within that day. I do not consider that crying. I consider that tears running down.
Push-ups. The fucking push-ups. Oh my god.
Hey, listen,
God.
I'm not gonna say you can't have a coping mechanism, and when you're in jail, you are in, like, very confined space with very little to do, but maybe using the time to reflect instead of trying to exhaust yourself so you don't actually have the mental fortitude or capability to deal with whatever
Too
it is
exhausted
that
to
you're
think. Yeah.
you're feeling. Yeah, what again, I'm not a psychologist. This is just my thoughts on the matter. It sounds to me that he was trying to physically exhaust himself so he would not have to think about what was happening. So it's an avoidance tactic. But maybe I'm wrong. It's also possible he's just fucking lying. That could be the case. I just assume everything he says has like a little bit of a lie in it somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's definitely, yeah. Like this whole thing of
When you-
crying. Oh, I missed them, so the tears came out of my eyes. So that's crying. No. Okay.
No, I wasn't crying. It's okay to cry, but
no,
I would.
Mom, I wasn't crying. I was being a brave boy. Sorry, that was good.
Everyone's like, it's okay to cry, but I would never cry. So it's not okay to cry. It's okay for everybody else to cry, but not you. Yeah, but but the thing is like people look up to this person, sadly, and he's trying to teach other people how to be more like him. So he's telling the people who follow him that it's okay to cry, but not for me. Therefore, if you want to be like me, it's not okay to cry. This is toxic masculinity in a nutshell. It's bad. Bad times.
Found out what they were alleging you'd done. Sexual assault,
Here we go.
exploitation, and so on. What did you feel about that? What was your first reaction?
My first reaction was, the standard playbook. The standard playbook for anybody who speaks up against power is sexual exploitation. Isn't that the normal one they go to?
No.
Can't we name like 10 or 15 people right now they hit them with this exact same garbage? Name a full-grown
go on,
man
go
who's
on.
36 or 37 years old who's not had sexual relations with a woman at some point in the past. And the way the Matrix works is they lie.
Rape isn't you having sexual relations with a woman. I hate to tell you.
Time, remember? I remember I told you last time he switches the definitions in his brains to justify things, and that's what he's doing here now. So rape is now just having sexual relations. It doesn't matter how he achieved those sexual relations. That doesn't matter at all. So yeah, he's not Italian. No, he's not. I really hope he's not.
Okay.
By
wasn't.
omission, right?
Okay.
They just hit Russell Brand with it. I think they hit P. Diddy with it this morning. Julian
Russell
Assange just
Brand.
got hit with it. He's still in his cell.
Russell Brand. Russell Brand.
The example he went for is Russell Brand. My guy. Where's that thing? This guy's unfucking believable.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hold on.
Please.
I got it right here. Here you go.
This guy is unfucking believable.
Yep. and now he's talking about P. Diddy, and it's like, so it's as if like, you know, victims are feeling comfortable to come forward, or, you know, people are feeling comfortable enough to come forward and, you know, talk about things like these. I wonder why. Maybe you spearheaded this, man. People start thinking if you, with someone with an extensive network as yours, can come down, anyone can come down. How about that? Maybe.
They got
But,
PDD, and
yeah.
everyone knows how politically active he is. He's not. Yeah, that's what I was. I agree. Like in the people he listed, what of them are people that the government doesn't want speaking out to people? What's the common thing that they're all doing? Is it just sex issues? Is it actually that they're just doing the problem thing? Because, like, he doesn't bring up Johnny Depp. Or maybe he does in a minute, but that's not the first person he goes to.
He has done in the past.
He has in the past,
He has done in the past. Yeah, but
But,
not,
like,
not
what
anymore.
po-
I wonder
what
why.
political- what
Did he get a cease and desist
activism?
from his lawyers?
Well, what
Yeah.
activism is Johnny Depp a part of?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
He's not. But
where's your Martin Luther King? Where's your Malcolm X? Where's your JFKs? Right? Like,
yeah.
where are they? What
This tells me-
civil movement are you doing, Andrew Tate? What civil movement? You're not. It's not a civil movement. What the fuck?
No, it's not. Yeah. So
Russell
far, so
Brand,
good,
how much
Pierce.
time do we have?
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, Russell Brand is a whole thing to unpack. Maybe we'll talk about him more later.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did talk about it a little bit, but I did it live and I never made a video out of it because I was just like, this is too fucking stupid. This is too dumb.
Lots of people get hit with these allegations and it turns out to be true.
A lot of people get hit with them and they turn out to be false.
Yeah, but you're sort of trying to make out all the people you just named are innocent. You don't know that.
Of course I don't know that, but a lot of people get hit and it
But
turns
why
out to
would
be
you
false.
why would you assume they're innocent?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the way the Matrix operates is it chooses something which is
See how they got
heinous.
faster?
If they accused me of drug dealing, nobody would care. They choose something which is heinous, so the process itself is a punishment. So they
Drug
damage
dealing
your
is not
reputation
heinous?
throughout the process, regardless of whether it's successful or not. Then what they do is they lie by omission. They throw you in a cell and they contact everyone you've ever interacted with. 2,000 people I know were called, and they were looking for one person to say they're a victim. By the way, they failed. They did not even find one. But if they did, they would then say, Andrew Tate's
See how he
victim, he's a
slipped it in
sexual
there?
assaulter,
Yeah.
and they would remove.
See how he slipped it in there? Oh, they couldn't find anyone. Dude, bitch.
There's two. There's two
Yeah.
named.
Minimum 2.
There's
minimum
more
2.
that
Yeah.
are remaining anonymous so far.
Yeah. So there's 2 plus 5, if I'm not wrong, total 7.
Thank you, Drake, for the subscribe with Prime.
Ah,
Yeah.
thanks.
The testimony of the 1,999 people who said I'm a very nice man. Lie by omission, and then they put together this entire package, use the mainstream media to convince the world that you deserve to be in jail, and that is how the Matrix
He's just
works.
sitting
I
there.
mean, to be clear,
and
I
Pierce
don't
is
know
like,
if
what
you're
am I
guilty or
doing
not.
here?
I do.
Sure, you're perfectly entitled to say that, and you know, right?
Of course I know.
But I don't know, and I will await any trial that comes to see what comes out in the trial and see what happens, right? So I'm not going to
That's good,
prejudge
that's
the
good.
trial. I'm not going to
Yeah.
judge you and say I think you're guilty. I don't know, right? We are where we are. You've been charged with serious crimes, and it's likely you'll face a trial, and we'll see how that all plays out, obviously. Going back to jail, how are you treated by other people?
Everybody in jail was extremely apologetic to me. All of the staff, the police
Oh,
officers,
really?
everyone who worked in the jail, the person who served me my meal, everybody was very sorry for what happened to me. They made it very clear they knew it was garbage, and they were.
I thought
Oh
you
my
couldn't
God.
understand. How did you know that if you couldn't understand what anybody said?
Were they crying when they were giving your meals? Maybe they were crying that they have to deal with a bitch like you. Like, I don't want to go in there. He's a bitch.
He's trying to say that jail was so horrible, but then also trying to say that everybody loved him, then also trying to say it was terrible, but also he cried but didn't cry, but also oh,
He's all over the place.
brother.
He can't decide.
I will clarify
And I
real
bet
quick.
you
The reason I said like your MLKs and your Malcolm X and your JFKs isn't to say that they didn't have issues with women. Is to say that that's not that those accusations and those things were not what was brought forward to deal with them because the government doesn't care about women. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys. They don't give a shit. You want to look at America right now and all the abortion shit going on and all the anti-trans stuff going on and how much that anti-trans rhetoric is specified towards trans women because they hate women. I'm weird.
Because women's, because somehow they're obsessed with a teenager's breasts. It's creepy as.
Yeah.
Old white men being obsessed with yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh god, alright.
apologetic. That was the only vibe I could give you. They were kind of like, listen, you got too big.
Vibe,
Sorry,
okay, now it's a
this is
vibe,
how
okay.
things work. And sorry, here's your meal. Nobody had any real problem with me. None of the prisoners had a problem with me.
Did you get into any fights?
There was
You were in isolation.
couple
Why would any
scenarios where
prisoner have
violence could
problems
occurred,
with
but I
you?
think once people realize that violence is a certainty and that you do not operate under a fearful realm, they often aren't so interested.
So people threatened you?
I wouldn't say they threatened me, but they would have liked to have got the opportunity to threaten me.
And what happened?
And they realized that would have been a bad decision.
That's good. That's
And all in all,
Well, what did you
What
say
did
to
he
them?
say?
Because you don't speak Romanian, so...
I didn't, you're right. I actually used
Oh god! Pierce, my man! Good one! Pierce, my man! Good! This is good! Keep it up, please!
Oh my fucking god! I know. Sorry, I need to listen to that lead up again. That was fucking great.
Yes, please!
fearful
Yes,
realm,
please!
they
Oh, this
often
is brilliant.
aren't so interested.
So people threatened you?
I wouldn't say they threatened me, but they would have liked to have got the opportunity to threaten me.
And what happened?
And they realized that would have been a bad decision. And all in all,
Well, what did you say to them? Because you don't speak Romanian, so...
I didn't, you're right. I actually used a quote from Street Fighter.
Look at his face! He's like, oh shit! Oh shit!
I
Oh
quoted
shit!
Dowson, and I said, they do not understand the secrets of yoga fire, because I knew they had no idea what I was talking about. It was near the washing machines, and they looked at me like I was completely crazy, and they walked away.
There's more than one person.
So he acted like a lunatic, so that way the other prisoners would
Escape.
leave him alone.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh,
Allegedly.
God. Pierce, let me say, you have not disappointed me so far. You have not disappointed me so far. Keep it up. Keep up the energy. You got it. When Pierce Morgan does a better job than other people who claim to be journalists, I'm just gonna be like,
Are we assuming that that other like Romanian people don't know what Street Fighter is?
oh god.
God.
Person.
Correct.
And they made it clear what? That they wanted to...
I have to be careful what I say, because I'm still beholden to the Romanian judicial system.
Yeah, but that's just an incident in jail. That's
Correct.
nothing to do with the system.
An incident report was written, and it's better I don't mention it.
But there was a direct threat to you.
I've had threats, yeah, and I have threats every single day of my
Was a
life.
threat,
and I
it's
think
not a
jail
threat.
is a hyper-pressurized version of reality, and you need to have an extremely strong mind so you don't attack yourself, and an extremely strong body so others don't attack
Push-ups.
you. And I understood that there was a threat of violence at all times, and I just decided to go through life extremely respectfully, but make it clear if that's a decision somebody else wants to make, that I'm prepared to partake.
One of the things I would think about, other than my family, immediate family, but one particular member of my family, if I found myself in jail, would be my mother and what she would be feeling and what she'd be thinking. She's been incredibly supportive to me,
he
and I
went
know yours
there.
has to you. Did you think about your mother?
I was extremely concerned for her. I was concerned because the media establishment were hounding her. She was obviously very worried, but she knew she raised strong sons. But we're her
Where?
number one protectors, and I was concerned for her. I wasn't concerned for myself in jail.
I protect my mother by doing illegal shit and getting into trouble.
By doing push-ups.
Uh,
I protect my mom. I'm a good boy. I protect her by doing push-ups.
Snitches get
He's a
stitches.
non-kickboxer. Yeah. He's a kickboxer who could not make money and got broke.
Oh, he retired. He retired and then went
Oh,
broke,
retired?
and then he retired, went broke, then started a business to launder money. So we don't know where he got the money that he needed to launder after he said he was broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. If we're gonna question whether or not Andrew Tate is strong and could win a fight in jail, I mean, right? He could win a
depends.
fight in jail. It depends. Like it's such a
I don't think so
non-issue
he would be able
speculation,
to.
right? It's just a non-issue
tell you.
speculation.
Yeah. He won't be able to, in my opinion. You know why? I have a good justification for that. Jail fights are not your fights with rules. They don't have any rules.
That's true.
And Andrew Tate is used to rules. So, he would get his ass, like, yeah, being like a bitch, like a little bitch. I can assure you that.
All right, we're gonna take
So,
a
yeah.
quick break, and we'll be back
Explain.
in a couple of minutes. Yeah, so stay tuned and see you in a minute. Hello. Doth hath returned. What's going on?
I has returns.
We got a guest.
Full animated gremlin. What? Gremlin? What? Oh, look.
Here.
Oh, you got snacks for him.
You
Cool.
take it?
Treats. You got treat.
Fuck off.
Hello.
Welcome back.
He's very complying.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody.
He was
Yeah,
okay
we're
with
back.
that.
Did I miss anything? I subjugate women and I treat them like second-class trash, but I care about my mother. I mean, if we really want to talk about, like, the Andrew Tate's behavior towards his mother publicly, it's pretty yikes. He basically blames her for everything and idolizes his dad, who is abusive via his description. Like, by Andrew Tate's...
Yeah.
By Andrew
By his
Tate's
own-
description. Yeah, his father was abusive. I did not see an art video that PewDiePie did. I guess that's something I'm gonna have to watch. Dang.
Oh.
Not right now, though, obviously. Let's put this back up. Ta-da! Let me make sure I put that in the right spot.
Looks like one of Andrew Tate's mate, Justin Waller, is feeling the heat now.
Oh, what happened? But is this
So it
is
looks
this
like
is
his,
this breaking news?
No, not really breaking news, but he's whining on his Twitter about his Instagram almost being like yeeted off. So I'm like, oh, okay, now you're feeling like you were associated with the wrong type of people, maybe. He's such a pretentious peacock. That's what he is.
Andrew, yeah.
And Justin
He's a
Waller,
lot
yeah,
of.
and his mate too.
There are a lot of talk and not a whole lot of follow through. But I mean, when have we ever run into
No.
men that are
Reminds me
like
of
that,
someone.
Manya? No, never. Not even once, baby.
It rhymes with the Ked's cataract, something like that.
The fuck? Okay.
I didn't even suffer in jail as much as I did when I got out. I didn't have nightmares in jail. I had nightmares once I left jail. I was in the middle of a battle.
so you had
I don't
PTSD?
think you get PTSD while you're fighting. You get it afterwards.
Oh.
I was in the middle of a battle trying to make sure that everybody I love and care about is taken care of and trying to make sure that bills are paid. Please understand, the day I was arrested, which is a year ago, every single bank account that I have was frozen. All of my assets were taken. I haven't had a dollar of
You
money
had 10
since January.
cars taken, I think.
15.
15 cars and how many properties?
15 cars, 6 properties, 20 diamond watches, gold bars, cash, land, every
Gold
single bank
bars?
account, millions and millions and
What was
millions
the
of
total
dollars.
value of everything they seized?
16, 17 million?
Pounds?
Yeah. And they took all of it.
Pounds,
And I still
okay.
don't have access to any of these things.
I mean, as we're doing this interview, you're expecting to hear sometime today as to whether you may get those possessions back. Is it all or nothing? Do you get it all back or nothing?
Correct. As we sit here, the judge is deciding whether I get all of my items returned or I get none of them returned. And truthfully,
think
under
he's
the
going to
law,
decide in your favor?
I should have
Sit
never
here
had
and
them taken in the
whine?
first place. So we're going to see what the
Well, he thinks that he has. Okay, but that's not necessarily permanent either. Like they're gonna. So I don't know if this is gonna get clarified in this, but it means that he has the opportunity to get his items back for now, while over the course of the trials and investigations and yada 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 yada. So like he could not have his stuff returned to him right now and still end up with it at the end of the trial or whatever. Just to be clear. So
yeah.
like whatever they've taken is not currently permanently taken from him as of right now.
So what's happened is, Sky News, according to Sky News, they say Andrew Tate travel restrictions eased, but he still can't get back his cars and watches. Tate says things are moving in the correct direction, but still faces a series of serious charges. Andrew Tate can travel anywhere in Romania after a court eased the travel restrictions on the controversial influencer. Okay, that's a very easy way of putting it. Very minimized way of putting it. The 36-year-old blah blah blah. Things are moving in correct direction. Yeah, I think that's all they're saying. Maybe he's got access to some of his financials, like his cash, but he's not getting maybe access back to his cars and his other assets that he might be able to sell to get more cash if he wanted to. I wonder why.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Schmederick.
judge decides. And I have to put my faith within the Romanian judicial system. I have no other choice. I'm not a coward. I'm not going to run. But let's not talk about the Romanian
If
judicial system.
if you have no other choice, then you don't have the option to be a coward or run. You have no other choice. You can't. This is like no. You either are. Even if I wanted to run away, I can't. Or like, what the fuck? Canadian day drinking must be cold. It's 3:30.
Yeah, it's 3:30, man. You're getting confused. She's in Canada and I'm in New Zealand. So
Also,
she's
yeah,
in Canada,
this is
I'm in New Zealand.
So for anybody who's curious, this is amaretto. It's a almond liqueur. And I put it in my tea.
Ooh.
It's
Nice.
very good. It's very good. I definitely recommend it. If you've never tried amaretto, it's very good in like iced drinks, or like you can make a Sicilian kiss by mixing it with Southern Comfort for a shot, or adding it to any warm drink is pretty tasty. But all right,
Talk about the
I
judicial
digress.
systems of the world. I've recently seen some very scary decisions in America and England, in these Western democratic nations. You see people doing
You're in
20
Romania,
years for
bitch.
attending peaceful protests. So you start to sit and wonder when you're in these situations, what is a trial? What is a judge? What is this? These are just people in a room.
Which peaceful protest are you talking about?
There's been a few. And I think
Who's got 20 years for attending a peaceful protest?
I don't want to say names. I saw it somewhere on Twitter. Somebody attended, I think it was
Why?
a pro-Trump protest, and they ended up getting 20 years.
Well, if you're talking about the January 6th riots, they were riots where people died.
Well, it's
They're
interesting.
not
Yeah.
peaceful protests.
Well, it's interesting because the world is actually very nuanced. And what I tried
But that wasn't nuance. That was a huge mob of
What
people
I tried to do
attacking
is-
the U.S. Capitol.
Well, what I try to do is I try to look at a
got louder?
broad spectrum of events, and I try to put things into a nuanced view, and I don't try and take a instant black
What's
or
the
white
nuanced
point
view?
of view on things. And the fact that BLM
Okay.
were rioting and destroying the entire nation for
Oh,
months and
oh,
during
he
that
went
exact
there.
week. And then some other people got together with a opposing political view and are facing serious
This is a
prison
tonal
time
change.
for doing less damage than BLM did. I find that kind of scary because
Well, people did die.
Well, in a democratic nation, we should all be the same under the law.
Yeah,
shouldn't
but
we,
Andrew,
sir?
just to be clear, on January the 6th, people died.
People died during BLM.
So
I mean, there are certainly inconsistencies in the way groups of people have been policed. I think
Well-
that's the same.
that's a really, really politically appropriate way to say that. Because Pierce doesn't want to argue with Andrew about this, right?
He's not getting into semantics because that's what Andrew does. He gets into semantics of things and tries to twist and turn everything. And then he just devolves the argument or the conversation. So what Pierce is trying to do is just keep it on the surface and keep it on track and not let Andrew dictate where the conversation goes. Because he brought up BLM, so he's trying to keep it stuck to the resurrection one.
Yeah,
So,
he's starting to veer off to the
Not bad.
side, and Pierce is trying to bring him back and just get to the point of no. But people died, therefore not a peaceful protest, right?
Yeah, that's the point. And why-
during BLM, people died. It's like, what do you mean during? Black lives always matter.
Do you have the dates? From what year to what year, or what month to what month, which year?
So
Not
I do admit that, like, if it was supposed to be a presentation of Pierce's position, the way he said what he did, where he said very non-committally that there have been differences and in the way that people have been policed, is a very, very, very careful way of not bringing his own opinion into this conversation. Because as soon as Pierce brings his own... Yeah, he should not. He should not be bringing his own opinion into this conversation, because as soon as he does, it becomes a back and forth about their views, whether they agree or whether they're opposing, and that's not what they're there to do.
Yeah.
Well, both, not only semantics, but also it becomes like a back and forth argument about something that they're not really there to talk about. Right? And so this is bait, and Pierce is not taking the bait, and he's being very, very, very careful about making sure that his own opinion is not coloring the discussion. And that's something that you need to do if you're doing, again, especially if you're with a volatile guest. Yeah. Especially when you're supposed to be talking about the guest, too, because that's also a difference, right? If you're interviewing somebody about some like a topic, you can kind of get into your views and kind of discuss back and forth and ask questions that way, because then it kind of opens them up, because you say, well, I always thought this, and then it opens the door. Whereas this is Andrew's trying to open every single door to get out of the conversation, and Pierce is like, yeah, but let's just close that one, and we'll just close that one real quick, and this window is locked.
Let's walk through this door, shall we?
Right. And I don't know. Well, I'm not going to go into that. Let's keep going for now.
The same whether you're talking about the BLM marches to the pro-Palestinian marches and so on, right? There's a lot of inconsistency.
Well, then we agree.
There's a lot of inconsistency in global policing, I think. I think that's a perfectly valid thing to say. But the idea that someone's got 20 years for being in a peaceful march is not true. The ones who've got the lengthy prison sentences have been held accountable for serious crimes.
I'm not even condoning.
If you look at, so there is, like, in regards to, like, people protesting and being unlawfully arrested and unlawfully held is true. That is a thing. Go ask any Native American.
Oh yeah.
But 20 years is the issue that Pierce is going on to. He's like, you can say that there are people that are unfairly policed and wherever you fall on that, but 20 years for peaceful protesting you're gonna need a citation on that one, I think, is what he's looking for.
Yeah, citation needed. Yeah.
Owning January 6th. I don't even know the ins and outs of January 6th. I wasn't there. I'm not saying
why are you making claims?
What I'm saying is exactly what you have said. There seems to be some massive inconsistencies in
No,
global policing.
that's not what he said.
No,
so
that's
when
not
you
what
end
you
up in a
said.
position
No.
where you're speaking
No,
against
hold
the
on.
system, as I do,
Hold
and you
on.
are
That's not what was said. You said,
No,
he
hold
said that
on.
people died and you called it a peaceful protest. But that's okay. All right, Buck, what are you yelling about? You see something out there? Good job.
understand that there are massive inconsistencies in policing globally, you start to sit down and seriously wonder if you stand a fair chance of a fair trial in any country on earth. I actually have to give out massive credit to the Romanian judicial system, because a judge one day sat down and said, why are these boys in jail, and let us go. I don't know if I would have had a fair shot like that in many other nations.
When you were released from jail after about 3 months, what was that feeling like?
I mean, there's also many other nations that would not give, like, he would have gotten in trouble way, way sooner, and he would have not been let go way, way sooner. That's one of the reasons why he said he moved to Romania in the first place.
Yeah, why did he leave the UK? Why did he leave US? Because there he would have just gotten under the guillotine, like, faster. So, yeah. And he admitted himself. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's according to him, right?
Hmm.
Did you get to the part where Tate said everybody in jail loved him and respected him, yet threatened him? Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we're past that part.
Yeah.
My brother and I were in the same cell at that time. We were extremely happy. I remember using the last of my mouthwash. During the day, I had some rituals to keep me sane, and I'd enjoy one swig of mouthwash a day. It's amazing how bored you get when you're staring
Is
at
he
cockroaches,
drinking
and
it?
Even that sensation.
So there were
was
literally
entertaining.
cockroaches in your cell?
He says swig,
How
right?
many at
Swig
any
means
given
drinking.
time?
At
Taking
night,
a
there was
drink.
lot.
Like what, dozens or?
Yeah, a few. There was an infestation. We did our best to kill as many as we could. It kept us entertained, but they're annoying to sleep with.
No, the reason that Andrew Tate is, like, speaking up against or for the January 6th protesters are because that's his audience. That's why.
The red pilling, the red pill community comes from
Mouthwash
that
was
crowd.
something I enjoyed
A lot
every
of
day. The
ultra
sensation of
conservatives.
mouthwash made me happy, and I remember using all of my mouthwash. And then instantly my brain
drink all
started
of it?
turning to all of the things I need to do. I'm a man, I have responsibilities. For 93 days I wasn't working. I started concerning myself with, okay, I'm about to get out of jail.
Only men have responsibilities, Manya.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Not
I'm gonna
his like
leave.
partners who have his like
Who
multiple
do I need to
children.
take care of? What's paid? Do I have any money?
Not his partners that he gets all of this money from. all the women that are supporting his bum ass because he doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
Left? Are bills due? Is mom okay? Are my children okay? And I just start thinking about work.
Mom,
and as soon as I got out, I didn't sleep for 3 days. I
How
sat
many
on the
children
computer.
do you have?
He didn't sleep for 3 days? Oh
Why?
my god.
Because I have enemies, and unfortunately, I just start thinking about work. And as soon as I got out, I didn't sleep for 3 days.
How many children do you have?
I'm less confidential.
Why?
Because I have enemies, and unfortunately, I do not want to give them any information.
But you have more than one.
You know what would a sensible
Right.
parent say?
So-
I don't want them to be exposed to this. That's what a sensible parent would say. I don't want to be. I don't want them to be exposed to this. I would like to maintain their privacy, please. They have nothing to do with this. Instead of weaponizing them and saying, "Oh, I have enemies, so people will try to hurt me through my kids."
Right.
Yeah. So it tells us motivations why he has kids.
There's there's this thing when it comes to language. The way people speak and the words that they end up using tends to, when there's usually many ways to say a thing. And the way someone chooses to say a thing will tell you a lot about what their mindset is at the time or what their intentions are, because that's what communication is about.
Obviously, you're caring for your children. I understand that as a father, right? And obviously, and you have a partner?
Yes.
Are you married?
No.
I think I asked you last time and you were a bit cryptic about it. You're not married yet?
No.
You have a partner who's the mother of your children?
Correct.
The same woman is the mother of all your kids?
It's confidential.
It's a bit stupid to say confidential.
No.
It is confidential, Pierce.
No.
It's
I
confidential.
don't
That's a
think you
no.
marry and have kids with is confidential, surely.
It is for me.
Really?
Of course, I am basically #1 enemy of the state, Pierce. Look what they've done to me. What have they
Which
put me in jail
state?
for?
Which state? I thought it was the Matrix. Now it's a state. Okay. Which state?
So
state?
he did he just accidentally tell everybody he's got kids in Romania? Okay.
It is the Romanian state.
Well, yeah. What does he think? The
Which other state it
Romanian
would be,
government? Yeah. Do you think any other country is going to have enough power to go after Andrew's kids in another country? And why would they go after your kids? Are your kids part of the human trafficking issue?
Are you exploiting your kids, Andrew?
Tate is perpetually framing himself as a victim. It's such cowardly behavior. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
He's a coward, but he's a very brave coward.
He likes to think so. I have enemies is more victim complex shit. Yep, you ain't wrong.
Yeah.
You're not married yet?
No.
You have a partner who's the mother of your children?
Correct.
The same woman is the mother of all your kids?
It's confidential.
It's a bit stupid to say confidential.
That's a
It
no.
is confidential, Pierce.
That's a no.
It's
I
confidential.
don't think you marry
That
and have
smile,
kids with
that's
is
a no.
confidential, surely.
It is for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Of course, I am basically #1 enemy of the state, Pierce. Look what they've done to me. What have they put me in jail for? At the beginning of this garbage,
what
people were sitting there thinking, maybe he's a human trafficker. It's been a year. Who? Show me a picture. Show me a video. Who's even a victim? There's nobody. The whole thing is made up.
Well, we're going to
Pierce.
come to
God, he's just
what they say you've done, right? We're going to come to that. But I'm just curious.
Oh, let's go, baby.
You come out of prison, you've got no ability to access any of your assets. How have you been functioning financially since then?
I believe in prayer and I trust in God.
Well, prayer doesn't pay the bills.
And I do my very best.
But prayer doesn't pay the bills.
Unfortunately, absolutely everything I own was seized by the Romanian state, so I'm just going to have to survive and do my very best.
Yeah, but how?
I'm doing my very best, Pierce.
Have you got wealthy benefactors helping you?
I'm doing my very best. I wish I had wealthy benefactors. I wish I had people on.
He's more protective of the people that are giving him money than his kids. He didn't say,
I wonder
oh, well,
why."
I can't tell you who's financially supporting me because I'm concerned for their safety. He said, nope. No,
Nope. At the moment, I think how he's surviving is he's taken up a lot of loans, and I wonder with whom he has taken up a lot of loans, because banks are not going to give him loans at this point because he has a case against
No.
him.
Yeah,
So-
bank's not gonna
So
involve
he's gone to
themselves.
some really shady people to get the loans, and obviously he will try to protect them because they're like, bitch, you open your mouth, you're dead.
Well, exposing who's giving him money would be kind of a big old yoiko spoiko for those people who are giving him money.
Yeah.
Whoomst.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, snitches get stitches, something like that.
Snitches get stitches. Oy, 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 oy. But yeah, Andrew is like losing his composure. Pierce is playing a game right now. Andrew is losing his composure, he's bringing him back. He's losing his composure, he's bringing him back because Pierce doesn't want him to lose his composure too quickly about the wrong subject. He wants him to lose his composure about the subject that Pierce wants him to lose his composure over. So he doesn't want Andrew to he doesn't want Andrew to leave yet. He wants to keep him on the line. So he's like, it's like when you're fishing. Like you cast, you bring it in. When you hook a fish, sometimes you gotta give him some line and then pull him in a little bit more, and you gotta work him around and give him some line, and then fishing. It's fishing.
So yeah, it's fishing, and at the same time, he's he's throwing in the bait and he's watching how Andrew behaves or reacts to the bait, and accordingly he switches, right? If Andrew's getting too worked up and that's not what, like you said, Pierce wants, then he will switch to another topic so that Andrew doesn't get time to keep going and build up momentum on that topic. So, which is very good. And
you'll notice that Pierce is not arguing with him. When he says that Andrew is wrong about something, he doesn't say, Andrew, you're wrong. He says, well, people died. As just a flat statement, right?
Just a subjective statement about the whole situation,
Yeah, he doesn't argue with him about his kids. He doesn't argue with him about anything. He gives him pushback, but doesn't make... he's not... Paying attention to it, whether you like Pierce Morgan or not, I can't say I personally enjoy the man. I think he's a fucking asshole, particularly when it comes to women's issues. But... It's important to acknowledge when somebody is good at their craft. And this is... Not that Andrew Tate is necessarily the most difficult interview that Pierce Morgan has done, or the most difficult person to interview. This is a great case study on how to handle a vitriolic and unpredictable individual.
On my side.
You can't function on no income at all.
Seems you can.
How?
I'm doing my very best, Pierce.
What does that mean?
It means I'm doing my very best. Absolutely everything I own is taken by the Romanian state. I don't have anything they don't have.
How do you pay for food?
I just have to do my best.
What does that mean?
It means that I believe in God and I pray.
Well, God's not going to pay your bills.
God has been paying my bills so far. It's amazing
That's
how
a good
far
jab.
faith can take you. It's often when you have absolutely nothing left, people turn to faith, but you should turn to faith first, and you should believe in God when things are good, and that He will be there when times are bad.
Initially, you were put on this sort of rolling 30-day house arrest, and they kept renewing that month by month by month. And then in June, you and your brother and 2 others were formally charged with rape, trafficking, and forming an organized crime group to sexually exploit women. And there were 7 alleged victims named in the indictment. You said at the time, I look forward to being found innocent. You said earlier, who are these women? Well, there are 7 named in the indictment.
Yeah, have you seen the videos of them on the internet saying we're not victims? They made us be victims. We told them
well,
we
that
weren't
will all
victims.
presumably be analysed in a trial. Do you know when the trial may be?
I have no idea. It's going to be a long...
Do you believe it will happen?
That's good. That he's saying,
Pierce
that's
just does
something to be
not...
decided.
Yeah, does not even take that bait. Does not even take that bait. Good. Because he wants to. He needs to establish that there were victims. Andrew's excuse doesn't need to be addressed because it stands on its own, right? This is one thing that you need to. This has something to do with like trusting your audience and also trusting like you know what you're doing. Right? Because you don't need to argue every single point, because sometimes the answer alone is good enough. Right?
That's why I think that's where the BBC interviewer just lost their shit. They were not prepared. I think so Pierce Morgan has done his research and he was prepared.
The difference between watching that one guy interview Elon Musk and just fumble it all over the fucking place because he was not ready to deal with that Musk was gonna stonewall the interview by asking too many questions back. He needed to be ready for that shit. And Pierce knows what's going on with the case, so he doesn't need to be like...
He doesn't need Andrew's validation
not all
for
of
the
those
facts.
Right, exactly. He's not looking for Andrew to work with him.
Validate, or he's not there to convince Andrew otherwise. Andrew can believe whatever he wants to and say whatever he wants to. He's just there, you're saying this, this is what subjectively is. So the audience can decide which way they want to go to. Simple as that. So it's good where he's going. And I was about to say one more thing, but I forgot. Whatever. We'll go.
Sure. It could get to a point where a judge, anytime before the trial, decides his case is garbage and throws it away. If you ask me what I believe happened, it's very simple. They threw me in a jail cell knowing they had no case, knowing they had no victims, but they thought if they plaster me all over the MSM and they say that I'm a bad person and they call enough people, they will find the case they want. They couldn't find it. You name the date they charged me. They had 6 months to charge me. Usually the Romanian state, even the American embassy confirms to me, charges within 30 days. With me, they used all 6 months trying to build a case and find actual victims of an actual crime. They couldn't. They charged me on the very last possible day they could, unless they'd have to drop the entire case. And they charged me with garbage because they have nothing. There are no victims.
It's not like they were prepping their case like they were using all the time in the world. They had to prep their case. like make a solid case. Like they were like, we will use all the opportunity we have to build a case. We don't have to worry about filing it as soon as possible. Like, no, that's not the case. It's definitely like they didn't have anything, so that's why they didn't file till the last day. Oh yeah. So
even if it's not even where they still needed prep time, it's not like they don't want to rattle you on purpose.
Yeah. So if they want, the weight can really rattle you. We have seen that when the Kyle and Steve's case was happening, right?
With non sequitur, yeah.
The weight was horrible for Steve. I will acknowledge that.
Oh, he had a bad time. Yeah, it was bad for everybody, and it was and like it wasn't good for Kyle either. But Kyle was trying to purposefully run things out and doing things as slowly as possible to the point where he was actually going beyond dates and waiting until he was getting slapped on the wrist before he would actually do anything. So like it's a tactic.
Yeah, it's a tactic. Yeah.
And
it's supposed to have worked
to the audience
here.
It's very difficult when you're thrown inside of a jail cell. You do not have access to social media. You do not have access to money.
Somebody was posting on his account
calling you a bad person. Hotlines are set up saying if Andrew Tate's ever hurt you, call this hotline. You're a rich person where people may want to get money from you and exploit you and extract resource from you. And they're sitting here calling anyone you've ever known. They called my gardener's daughter.
He started moving. This whole time he's been sitting like really clenched up. This is the first time he's started.
No, he's like.
This is how you know Pierce has got him.
Who I've never even spoken to, asking about ever done anything wrong to her or said anything wrong to her, trying to find victims of a crime that don't exist. It's actually a miracle from God that no one's come out.
Yeah,
he's got a daughter.
Doesn't speak to.
Whole thing is garbage. They could do this to anybody. Pierce, they could do this to you. They could put you in a cell, put all over the media you're a sexual exploiter, and for 3 months talk about how bad you are when you can't defend yourself, and call everyone you've ever interacted with. And if anybody you were ever rude to once decides they want a payday or some fame, they can use it against you. It's insane.
The Romanian...
His accent has also slipped back down.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Pierce's expression. He's just keeping it such like neutral. He's like, or like
listening.
I don't care, bitch. He's like,
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, I'm listening to you, but you're full of shit. That kind of expression. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Daughter, Mr. Carrick.
Well, and that's the thing. He wants to protect his children, but he has actually no like filter for protecting his children. He just says that he wants to. It's performative. So he's a deadbeat dad who never talks to his daughter. I wonder why it's the daughter specifically that he's so not interested in protecting.
Also, why are you exposing your daughter to such scrutiny with media? They might find her and they might start asking her questions about, oh, what did the police ask you? What's your father like? Why are you exposing your child to that? Why are you bringing it up? Bring something else up that you find stupid.
Because he
weaponizes his kids.
He is more protective of his financial investors than he is of his children, specifically his daughter. Big fucking
I really hope it's not Elon Musk. I really hope it's not Elon Musk.
I really hope it is.
Yeah. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean.
Authority prosecution files accuse you of using verbal and physical abuse to keep women in line, taking 50%, I believe, of the women's online income. Although I believe that figure could vary, could be up to 80%.
And these are his friends.
No, they accuse me of exploiting women who did TikTok. The same women who say we were not exploited. He just told us.
He really wants to go there now.
Also, in the prosecution file, if you want to talk about it, there's.
Oh, he didn't say his own daughter. He said his gardener's daughter. So he's willing to throw other people's kids under the bus?
Oh my God.
That's good. Great.
But he was a caring person. He cared about the people around him, but not his gardener, I guess.
He was so worried about the other people around him, just not his gardener's daughter.
People who are employed by him, specifically, he said that, you know? People depend on me because I employ people. Oh, what happened to that dude?
Yeah, no, so correction. He said his gardener's daughter, not his own daughter. So he's we'll correct that. He's not trying to expose his own children that he's not that he thinks need to be protected and not.
He's trying to deflect using other people's kids.
He wants to use other people's kids.
Not a single bank transfer. There's not a single piece of evidence for any money. So I'm accused of making money from TikTok, but they haven't found any money. There's no money, and the victims are saying, I didn't explain.
You're accused of money laundering, you
whole thing is
bitch. You're accused of money laundering.
There's
What are you
no
talking about?
There's no bank transfers into my account. That's the most
Yeah, I wonder
sketchy
why.
fucking shit. Yeah, no shit, dude.
Hey, thanks for crossing out one of the, ways you could have like transferred money. Now the authorities will look at all your other shit. They're like, okay, this is out of the picture. He's saying there were no transfers. We'll look at it last. We'll look at all the other shit that's there, starting with TikTok. And
Yeah.
they will find digital signatures where the money went. If
Yeah,
it's
TikTok
online,
is
it will be.
TikTok is only one of the things, right?
a joke.
What is, I think, problematic for you is the war room, which was
Oh.
a group of...
Miscategorized and
It
misunderstood.
was called the war room.
Correct.
Okay. And it had a lot of people who were dubbed the generals who ran the war room
Correct.
for you. And the war room had 500 to 600 members who paid, I think, $6,000+ to be a member of this. And when you saw the logs of the web chats between people from the war room to each other, a lot of it made disturbing reading. Were you disturbed by it when you read that?
Firstly, a lot of that is bullshit. A lot of that's fake.
Well,
Secondly,
you think that literally those logs are fake?
absolutely. Secondly,
But the BBC verified them.
the BBC verified them. Are they the same people who verified the vaccine? Those people, they're liars. Firstly, a lot of them are fake. Secondly, the
Were
war
you
room-
disturbed by anything you read?
That's
No,
all
because
he
it's
has
real.
got? Oh my god. Vaccine? How did...
It was miscategorized,
The
but that's
vaccine.
what it was miscategorized, except that's what it was named. The logs were disturbing to read. Were you disturbed? Well, actually, they're fake. Pierce is asking him, but were you disturbed by reading it? And he's saying no.
Yeah. Oh my god, boy, you giving us some hints there, thanks. Also, so is Andrew Tate trying to say that people trusted the COVID vaccine because BBC somehow verified it to be trusting or something like that?
He's trying to say that the BBC lied or were wrong about the vaccine. It's the same thing that Elon Musk said. Elon Musk, by the way, is also one of the other people who was defending Russell Brand, by the way.
Right? You know
So do
why
you
I
think
said
that maybe the financial backers that he have...
Now you know where my brain's going when I said, oh, I hope it's not Elon Musk. I think like a
Is he
crook, I
verified?
told you.
The BBC verified them. Are they the same people who verified the vaccine? Those people, they're liars. Firstly, a
I
lot of
need
them are
that
fake.
clip
Secondly,
later.
the war
Were you
room-
disturbed by anything you read?
No, because none of it's
They're
real.
liars.
Firstly. Secondly, there's 4,000 members in the war room. Thirdly, the war room is about masculine personal development. We talk about fitness, making money, strength. We talk about very important things.
Making money,
There's
how?
4,000 members inside.
How?
If you're telling me the same people who
Making money
verified
how,
the vaccine,
Andrew?
those people, they're liars. Firstly, a lot of them are fake. Secondly, the war
Were
room
you
has-
disturbed by anything you read?
No, because none of it's real. Firstly. Secondly, there's 4,000 members in the war room. Thirdly, the war room is about masculine personal development. We talk about fitness, making money, strength. We talk about very important things. There's 4,000 members inside. If you're telling me that amongst 4,000 members with 24-hour chats 7 days a week for the last 5 years, they managed to find 2 guys talking locker room talk, and that somehow offends the world,
Locker
nobody
room
understands how
talk.
the world works. That's not why I was in jail. It's nothing to do with the war room. I was in jail because I spoke against
The reason you the conversations about making money are part of the trafficking thing, Andrew.
How to make women do the webcamming for you so you can take their earnings. That's the part. And he just let it slip. They're making money. How, dude? Explain it to us. It's not online marketing. That's not what it is. So yeah. Also, he keeps like I think so he's still trying to advertise the war room because he's like, oh, we have 4,000 members, and if they only got like two guys talking to each other, dude, one of the guys who was talking like that got arrested.
Yep.
He's arrested now. Was part of that chat log that you're saying is bullshit and is fake. So yeah, and also it wasn't just 2 people. There were I think so there were at least 5 different people having that conversation. If I'm not wrong, at least 5. There are more. Yeah.
Won't be surprised to hear about some of this stuff getting subpoenaed during the trial.
I don't know if they have a concept of subpoena or not, but they will try and get access to that somehow.
Yeah, by whatever means that the Romanian government
Legal means they
or
have,
the legal
yeah.
means that whether it's technically a subpoena or not. I don't know the terminology well enough about Romanian government to call it one way or another, I guess.
Against power, because I told the truth about COVID, because I told the truth about the war in Ukraine, because I told the truth about all of these things.
I don't understand why people would want to put you in jail for giving your opinions about COVID or Ukraine. Why would they?
Why wouldn't they?
Well, why would they?
Ukraine.
Why would they say that Andrew Tate's
That's a
opinion
good
is
line of questioning.
so important
Why?
on Ukraine that we have to put him in jail? I don't buy that.
Okay, because I was the most Googled man on the planet, and I had a huge affinity with the most troublesome demographic for the Matrix, which is the young masculine youth, the people who you need to die in wars, the people who you need to psyop into being slaves to build the roads while telling them that they're not allowed a point of view and they're not allowed an opinion on anything. And I was saying things which was going against the narrative. And the Matrix, the way it operates is it uses the MSM to purport lies, to inject slave
MSM
programming
or
into
MSM?
people's brains so that we live lives which are not
Social
good for
media.
us but are good for them. And I was sitting there unplugging it. Why would they sit there and say, we've put together this massive psyop. We're going to convince everybody to inject themselves with poison, and we're going to lock everyone in their houses, and it's all a lie, and we're going to let this one guy who everyone listens to.
Andrew, it wasn't all a lie.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't. There was a new novel coronavirus.
Now he's like
I'll tell you what-
what's happened is PS4 is
I'll tell you what the facts were, and you can then.
Look at Andrew. So because he's now so deep in it, and now his pride is on the line, he's not going to get up. He's not going to get up and go. He's gonna sit there and because Pierce has already set the tone for the interview, he can't go beyond those boundaries now. He can't throw a tantrum because that will work in Pierce's favor. And as we can see, there's still actually around 50 minutes or something left still. So they had a long conversation after this. So if this is what
It's 20 minutes
this
in.
point is happening, yeah, I'm just wondering what's going to happen in the next.
I
like,
actually
20, 50 minutes.
feel, having watched this, I actually feel a lot better about my Gary conversation now because it took me 30 minutes to
Right?
get Gary going, and it took Pierce 20 minutes to get Andrew Tate going. So like, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy with those numbers. Fauci would often consult with Tate on matters of public health. Wait, no.
Come on, guys, come on.
Oh, brother. So we're into COVID. We've managed to make it into COVID conspiracy, and that is also something that Russell
January
Brand
6th
has put
conspiracy.
forward. This is also the same talking points as Elon Musk. I'm pretty sure this is the same talking
Yeah.
points as Jordan Peterson as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Some of them, yes.
Ooh.
Before I think so, he got control of his brains again. I think so.
Yeah, no, Pierce has
Reset.
been decent about pushing him back on things that are just material facts of a matter, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me that he's going to push back on. He didn't argue about whether or not VBC lied about COVID, but he is going to push back on like the blatant statement of COVID being a lie, right? Because one is an opinion, the other one is a material fact, right?
Yeah.
And so like he's very
So he's still got those
Pierce is
brains.
keeping on point. I don't know. I don't know. There's a what's the there was a conversation, there was an interview. We're gonna have to watch Pierce Morgan again. We're gonna have to watch him talking to just pearly things about feminism because that was a thing that happened.
Oh,
We
yeah.
should watch that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should. Yeah.
We'll keep going for now.
Laugh at them if you wish.
Sure.
But there was a novel coronavirus,
Yeah.
COVID-19. It was killing thousands of people a day.
Really?
Yes,
That's scary.
absolutely. Yeah, and and I know people who died.
Who
I know
doesn't? I know people who died before Corona. of
Fine,
illness.
I'm sure people die of lots of things, but it was killing
He's so trivializing
exponentially
it, and
thousands
Pierce
and
is like,
thousands of
"Oh,
people.
boy."
And then vaccines were developed at very high speed, and they managed to save, in my estimation, millions of lives. You may not agree with that,
Absolutely.
but those are facts as assumed by the body of scientific and medical experts in the world.
Body of scientific and medical experts. You mean the Matrix? I could get.
What is the Matrix?
The Matrix are a bunch of people who can come up with studies from the sky to say anything they want them to say, so they can use the MSM to purport garbage inside of people's minds. So you end up locked in your house, clapping for the NHS like a performing seal, injecting yourself with experimental poison for the 9th time. It's a
Science is evil.
Matrix. It's the Matrix. Science is the Matrix. Oh my god. Then why are you sitting here giving an interview with a camera, dude?
With
Everything-
microphones.
Everything, even the chair he's sitting on is a product of science. So sit on the ground, buddy. Why are you wearing shoes?
He is
There
saying
are no germs.
he is saying MSN. He means social media network. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about like
okay.
Messenger, like old MSN
Mainstream-
Messenger.
Mainstream
Ma-
media. I thought
Yeah.
he meant mainstream media. So
Well,
that's what I was
he does. He uses the terms interchangeably. So like mainstream media would be MSM, and the other one is MSN, which would be social media network. So those are the mainstream
Yeah.
media would be MSM, and the other one is SMN. So those are the two things that he's talking about.
He's just fiddling around with those. Yeah.
lie. There was no reason to lock everyone in their house. More people died from missed cancer appointments than anyone ever died of COVID. People always got the sniffles before COVID, and they've always got it since.
wasn't
Let me ask you a question.
hang on,
sir.
it wasn't-
Where has COVID gone?
It wasn't-
Diseases don't go away.
It wasn't-
Where's COVID
It
gone?
wasn't. Well, the COVID strains have got milder, as indeed flu did. Flu used to
so
kill.
it's gone away.
Well, flu pandemic in about 100 years ago killed 50
He's
to
so
100
frustrated
million
now.
people.
He's not even looking
and it's
at
got
beers now.
steadily milder over the decades since.
like a
This is
little kid.
normal medical
I don't like
science
healthy.
pathway for most pandemics, right? So on that, I mean, your sort of cast iron, it was all Matrix MSM nonsense, is palpably untrue.
Well, I'll tell you why that's not untrue. Let me tell you my personal experience with COVID. I'm an extremely logical person. At the beginning, when everyone was dying,
It's
dropping dead
not
in the
a
streets.
part of the experience of the population, you fucking moron.
That's what he did
You
last
need
time.
to see what happened. Yeah, that's you have to look at. That's why vaccines are how vaccines are developed, because of how your immune systems evolve at population level. Shesh wants to just hide. She's like, what the fuck?
Andrew Tate likes to do this big brain logical thing, like he just called it, where he takes his experience and applies it to the world and to everybody. That is a logical fallacy. Just because you've experienced it and you're ignorant to someone else's experience doesn't mean your experience is the only experience.
You know who this reminds me of? Aaron.
Oh yeah. That was the description Steve gave. He was like, when my experience in the Navy on my ship, there were gay people LGBTQ plus people didn't have a bad time, and it's like, one, I don't believe you. Two, how do you know? Three, fuck you. You're just discrediting an entire group of people because you didn't experience the discrimination because you're not part of that community. Why would anybody have been
happening? Like,
and yeah, COVID has not gone away. It's still
no,
here.
it has not. We had to send like 10 to 15 people off site because there were symptoms of COVID with them, because one person in admin got COVID. And as soon as after that we had people with symptoms of flu and stuff, we just got them off the site. And then the next day we realized 7 of them had COVID.
For it to go away,
yeah.
well, there's also like a little bit of a slip here. For it to go away, it would have to exist.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was like saying it's all a hoax and it's all a lie. So, yeah.
China, which I never saw.
Aaron,
by the
come
way.
get your boy.
Funny. And the Italian hospitals were full. English hospitals were never full. Funny. Me and my brother sat there and said, if this disease is so deadly and can damage us as strong military-age males, then the world is over. So there's no point in hiding in our house. We decided to go to Sweden. On day 1 of COVID, day 1 when everyone still believed, we went to Sweden. Why does no one talk about the fact that Sweden was open the entire time? Why does no one talk about
Because some
different
countries
handled it differently, Andrew. Because different countries were affected differently because of their cultural differences, Andrew. You've traveled around the world.
Dipshit.
Why do you think all these places are the fucking same, Andrew? Why are you such an idiot,
Yeah.
Andrew? Aren't you supposed to be like a financial guru? Wouldn't you know about the economic circumstances of different countries, Andrew? You big logic brain fucking moron. Holy, how stupid. How fucking absolutely moronic do you have to be to say something so fucking ignorant. I went to these places and these places weren't full, and I lived in butt fuck nowhere that didn't have to do with anybody and didn't have a whole ton of interactions with anybody, and we had one hospital in that space, and that hospital didn't get full because nobody in the town was traveling around or interacting with everybody, and nobody got COVID, so COVID's fake. Are you fucking serious? Are you high? Can I have whatever you're smoking? How are you, Andrew, who has all of your assets taken from you, who has nothing, able to afford whatever the fuck drug you have to smoke to rot your brain this way? Give me some, you piece of shit. Holy fuck. How does anybody who follow this man think that they have anything above a 10 IQ? Anything in double digits.
Even
It's
10
not
is being
possible.
Even 10 is being generous at this point, in my opinion.
The world is over if it can affect me. Oh my god.
It's like yeah, they don't know, like, you know, if you are within a certain like income strata of society, you can get protection automatically against even diseases because of the environment you move in.
The way that Sweden has their country set up, including the population number, including the way their hospital works, is so vastly different than England or anywhere in America or Italy.
Do you know how many people died of COVID because the hospitals were full? There were people being put on beds on the streets outside hospital, and there was lack of oxygen tanks for people. You know how many people died because of that? How many below the poverty line people died because they didn't have any option than to just work?
Part of the issue of COVID was not necessarily that it would kill you, it was also that it could kill you without proper medical care. Right? And the problem with that is that people would be dying because of COVID, not because they had COVID, but because they did not have access to the hospital. Or people were dying for other reasons because they did not have access to the hospital. The masking wasn't about not spreading the vaccinations and masking weren't only about stopping the spread, it was about slowing the spread down, so that way the number of people who had it was mitigated, so that way that mitigation would enable hospitals to be able to handle the volume of people, because fuck you! I thought you were logical. I thought you liked to take nuanced things and didn't like to be black and white about scenarios. COVID's fake. I'm a moron.
No, because he didn't see it, so it didn't happen. He didn't see someone ram a bat up his arsehole, so so it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Oh my god. I like how much he's like, oh yeah, it's really hard being confined to my house, and then is making fun of people who were following the fucking rules for COVID. You fucking... God damn, you moron! Holy shit. Alright, I clicked it back a little bit so you can listen to him be a moron again. Ugh.
Yes, please. That was fun.
I wonder if Andrew Tate would consent to an interview with me. Bro, don't do this to me. No. No.
The Italian hospitals were full. English hospitals were never full. Funny. Me and my brother sat there and said, if this disease is so deadly and can damage us as strong military-age males, then the world is over. So there's no point in hiding in our house. We decided to go to Sweden.
A scientific issue when they believe that scientific community is the matrix. Got it.
Just to clarify, his response to COVID was to go to Sweden. Do you get that?
What?
Do you understand what that means?
You might have to say that again for me.
Logical person. At the beginning, when everyone was dying, dropping dead in the streets in China, which I never saw, by the way. Funny. And the Italian hospitals were full. English hospitals were never full.
Yeah, it's really funny that it takes time for a disease to spread and that China doesn't actually put out all of their information to everybody. Ha ha ha, very funny. All right.
Funny.
Listen.
Me and my brother sat there and said, if this disease is so deadly and can damage us as strong military-age males, then the world is over. So there's no point in hiding in our house. We decided to go to Sweden. On day one of COVID, day one when everyone still believed, we went to Sweden. Why does no one talk about the fact that Sweden was open the entire time? Why does no one talk about the fact they didn't have masks or lockdown or vaccines? My brother and I partied in nightclubs 7 days a week for 3 entire months while everyone in England was locked in their house.
Sweden actually had a number of restrictions.
Not when I was there. It was open.
Not as draconian as we had in the UK, and there are certainly legitimate questions to ask about the scale of our lockdowns. I think people panicked. They saw what was happening in Italy, which had the second best medical healthcare system in the world, and people were dying in massive numbers and the hospitals were overrun. So people may have panicked.
At least he kind of admitted that people were dying, but then didn't, I guess. Weird.
Hear about the guy who died in a
I
motorcycle
really like
crash,
this
it was
that
a COVID
Pierce
death.
is
You hear
like
about that
saying he's very patient with Andrew here. He's like,
he has to be. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to be, but he's explaining it very well. He's like, but there were restrictions, and he's like, no, when I was there, he's like, but it's a fact, there were restrictions in Sweden. It might not have started when you landed there, but later they were. So he's like, okay. So he's being very gentle with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was certain
Downing
people,
Street didn't seem very concerned with
there
COVID.
was a
I thought
long
they were
there was a
partying.
long debate about people dying of COVID or with COVID. I know all that, but the bottom line for me, it is indisputable that COVID was a deadly pandemic that killed a lot of people. It turned out a lot of older people more than young people, but they didn't know that at the time, not for a long period. The vaccine saved millions of people's lives. There are legitimate questions about some of the boosters, about some of the side effects of the vaccines, as there are, by the way, with all vaccines. But the idea that COVID is some invention by the Matrix to suppress and control its people is for the birds, Andrew. It's for the birds.
It seems the birds and
And I
I
don't
are friends.
think a smart guy like you actually believes that.
Of course I
And that's one of my
absolutely
problems.
believe that.
One of my problems I have with you is that I think you are intelligent, but I think you also adopt positions that you know are going to get the anti-Matrix mob inflamed.
Piers Morgan's calling him a grifter.
And it's just these all-encompassing views you have. COVID was a load of nonsense. Vaccines are all dangerous and killing more people than they say.
Never said that. I said the COVID vaccine.
Well, COVID vaccine, well, you don't think they work?
No, of course not, because the idea of
Of course
the
they
vaccine,
worked.
the word vaccine in and of itself.
His response to being confronted by being called a grifter is to pick out one thing to try to shift the goalpost. Big logic,
and
man.
And Pierce is like, nah, too late for that boy. Too late for that boy. I got you.
Oh boy, I want to see what he
saved
says.
millions of lives.
If you get a vaccine, you do not get the disease. They changed the definition of vaccine in the dictionary so they could continue to inject us with this pointless poison. I had the vaccine.
Needed.
Miss Piers Morgan.
Needed. Where the
citation needed. But also,
citation needed. When did they do that? Where did they do that? What day it was? Like, yeah, Andy, where the fuck are your citations? But I guess he doesn't believe in citations because, citations are part of the Matrix. So I guess he just pulls out shit out of his ass.
The dictionary gets printed, and it's not something that changes overnight. Schools are notoriously bad. Schools that are underfunded are notoriously bad for having out-of-date books. That will include dictionaries. They don't get free dictionaries every year. And they wouldn't be rolled out instantaneously. Like that, if that happened, that would be a big deal. If suddenly the government was just like, hey, we really care about education instantly. Everybody gets new dictionaries and the
new books,
because we needed
books.
Because we needed to change one term. That not only is that like incredibly economically not feasible, but also the previous dictionaries don't just evaporate.
The previous version.
Being more specific about what a virus means and explaining it to a general populace that doesn't know or doesn't have a good understanding, because there's a difference between the scientific term and the colloquial term, is not a conspiracy. A really good example of this is people who have come out of religions and the terminology of the word theory or the term evolution. There was a big push by the atheist community to educate people on what evolution actually is, and so now and there's a broad understanding. You don't see that in philosophy, right? You don't see people talking about like what truth and knowledge and things are in philosophy, because that push has not happened. That's why it's in one area and not in another one.
For polio, I've never had polio. You got the vaccine for COVID, and you're bragging online how you have COVID for the 8th time, but it's not that bad because you've had 6 injections. It's insane. This itself is that you get...
They save millions of lives.
If you get a vaccine, you do not get the disease. They changed the definition of vaccine in the dictionary so they can continue to inject us with this pointless poison. I had the vaccine for polio, I've never had polio. You got the vaccine for COVID, and you're bragging online how you have COVID for the 8th time.
Hold on. He said he got the
injections.
vaccine for polio, and he never had polio.
Yes.
He got the vaccine for polio and he never had polio. I think so that's how vaccines are supposed to work. Yeah, you got the vaccine and you did not get the polio, so it worked. Boy. What?
Well, he's trying to say that if you get a vaccine, then you never get the thing. Okay, so what about the HIV and like vaccines? What about like the hepatitis vaccines? The hepatitis vaccines don't stop you from getting hepatitis. It's there to protect you so it doesn't kill you.
Tuberculosis.
That's just not polio, bro. Polio. It's not hard to find this information.
No, but he doesn't look for information because he doesn't care about information. He cares about what he can grift at the time of what's happening, and this is what he's doing now. So yeah, he's doing the thing right now that Piers Morgan just accused him of doing. Yep. And it's on full display, and yeah, it can't be ignored, actually.
Yep. Vagri, I mean, we just watched, well, it doesn't matter. Vagri pointed out, you haven't had polio because we vaccinated polio into extinction in most of the world. Correct.
Yes.
You still take the vaccine because it's not all the way gone, and if you don't get that vaccine and get it, you risk of like changing the virus enough that polio becomes a thing again. We saw this when people were anti-vaxxing the measles, I think, and then there was a huge flood of measles. It started coming back. It was a huge flood of people with the measles and kids with the measles in New York. Like this.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it.
Like, are you mad?
It's privileged people who didn't have to suffer the hardship, assuming that the preventative the preventative things that we do to prevent these things from happening are not necessary because the preventative measure is functioning. This is the same problem we see with SJ when she was talking about abortion rights. It's the same kind of thing that we see with the older generation saying we don't need these social security things because I didn't need to take advantage of them without realizing that they've been using them the whole time. Same fucking thing. Same fucking thing.
By default, so they never were aware of them.
Yep.
Also, I'll just give an example of India. This year, it will be 12 years for India to be polio free. So polio was in the world as recent as 2011.
It's the same thing as a Catholic church. It's the same thing as a Catholic church running around telling people not to get vaccines because that's what like bad people want you to take and keeping people sick. It's the same as people going out and doing missionary work, telling people that the only way to avoid getting sick and sexually transmitted disease is to not use condoms because God's plan.
Yeah.
But
it's
infuriating.
Yeah.
And please understand my position.
Please
understand that I'm a person who doesn't believe any of these studies, don't believe any of this garbage, don't believe the Matrix. I'm a person who was in Sweden for 3 months as everyone was afraid, locked in their houses, partying at will. It was perfectly fine. They had
I was in one of the safest places in the world that's all relatively regulated.
And it's very surprising, and maybe not surprising, but it's as if Pierce knew that Andrew might pick up Sweden's example for COVID, that tells me either Pierce is very, very knowledgeable around COVID, or he did his research with that where Andrew was around COVID, what his whole journey was. So he researched into that because that the issue of COVID would come up and the vaccines would come up. So either way, not bad. Well done, I would say.
It's
That's a very
incredibly
specific niche.
It's incredibly fallacious to say that I didn't experience it, therefore it's not happening. You could live under a rock and never experience anything, and that would change nothing about the reality of what everybody else is experiencing.
Yep.
Lower death rate than the UK.
They had a much higher death rate than their neighbouring countries in Scandinavia. Did you know that?
They had a lower death rate
Did you know
than the
that?
UK.
Did you know that?
It doesn't. No, I didn't know that.
It doesn't matter to you.
Of course not.
So you wouldn't compare them to their immediate neighbours. You'd only compare them to a country in the UK.
If you think lockdowns worked, Pierce.
Yep.
If you think lockdowns.
I think lockdowns were only acceptable as an immediate panic move, which it was, before there were vaccines. The moment they had a successful vaccine program that worked, then there was no justification for further lockdowns.
You're a very important person, and you're very well respected.
I'm not important, I'm a journalist.
No, you're very important, and you're very well respected in the UK. You've been famous for
Feel
a
like,
very long
don't
time.
try to blow
Were you
smoke up
invited
my
to the
arse,
party
dude.
at Downing
That's not
Street,
gonna
or were you not
work.
in that sort?
No.
No? Oh, that's a shame.
And I thought the
Because
behaviour...
they seemed very concerned about COVID on the TV,
And by the
then
way,
they
I
didn't seem
thought-
to give a shit as
and
soon
I
as the
thought-
TV was on.
I thought that was disgraceful. And I thought Boris Johnson and the people working at Number 10 who were having those parties, when I had friends of mine who were literally saying goodbye to their mothers on FaceTime on their phone because they weren't
This is
allowed
fair.
in to see them. I knew people in care homes where it ripped through and killed a third of the people in the home in 2 weeks. And the desperation that people felt. I had a cousin who lost his father who couldn't go and see his dying wife and so on.
It's disgusting.
There were terrible stories.
It's criminal.
Terrible stories.
It's disgusting. So let me ask you a question as a
So what the
professional, because we're
fuck are
both
you
adults and
talking
we're both very
about?
smart. As a professional, which is more likely that the government believed COVID was deadly and everybody should be truthfully afraid and locked in their houses, but because they had this spirit inside of them and they couldn't resist the idea of a party, decided to risk their lives to party, or they lied on the television trying to
people are
scare
stupid
everyone
like
and
you.
enslave them and lock them in their houses, knowing it's garbage, knowing it's a lie, and not caring, and had a party behind everyone's backs they didn't think they'd get caught. Which
He's trying to radicalize Piers Morgan in real time because he thinks that he can get Piers Morgan to agree with him because they agree that the parties that Boris Johnson was going to was unacceptable, right? So he's trying to link that one to this one by presenting not just a false dichotomy, but an incredibly loaded sentence or line of questioning.
Yeah. And I think so Pierce won't even, after what he has just expressed, that he has lost family members and, friends to COVID, I don't know why Andrew thinks that he's going to, even indulge in such conversation. I don't know, maybe.
one is more likely as a professional, as a logical human.
Why don't we just agree that they were a bunch of rank hypocrites, stupid people who were behaving utterly selfishly to the extent that the Queen, when her husband, Prince Philip, dies, is in the church on her own in a mass with none of her family around her after losing a rock of 70 years. And it turned out the night before, Downing Street had, I think, 2 parties, including a karaoke party. I think that was shameful and disgraceful.
Well,
So we can agree on that,
We
right?
can agree on that, and we can wake up and start to realize, maybe the government doesn't care about us. Maybe the government lies to us. Maybe they tell us things and try and scare us, but they don't actually care themselves. Maybe all they are is hypocritical, self-interested people.
Maybe
That's not new, Andrew. People have thought
Yeah,
that
that's
about their
something like-
governments and about politicians do not have a good reputation. This is not he's
No,
not
for some reason.
he's not eliciting any new information.
This is not an
any
epiphany.
big waking moment
not-
of oh my god. Like no,
This is not an epiphany like that. You sat in a cave and meditated, and suddenly, politicians are hypocritical. Not some, not all. Sorry, some politicians are hypocritical, selfish, and don't care about the common people. It's been from the start of when we have started recorded history.
Well, there's
Politicians are
also
selfish.
there's also like a degree of less of an issue of whether or not you're a politician, and more of an issue of whether or not you're privileged enough to do so. Right? Do you have enough money?
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's, but Andrew is describing that he did the same fucking thing that the politicians were doing. People are dying in the street and he's out fucking partying.
Because he has the money to survive this, so yeah.
Yeah, and Tate's going down his dialogue tree. You're right. He's an NPC. He's just got specific dialogue.
Yeah. Click. What will work with Pierce?
None of them.
If
Maybe
this, then that.
and maybe they use the MSM to purport their lies, to keep everybody enslaved while they do whatever they want, and that is the Matrix in and of itself. And if you speak against it and people listen to you,
It's also really culty behavior to use jargon in normal day-to-day speech with people who aren't part of the cult.
Yeah.
So when he's using terms like MSN, where he's talking about mainstream media, he says MSN instead of mainstream media as a dog whistle to his own cult members. And not that they are a cult, I don't know about that, I would have to look into it a little bit more to make that distinction, but that, like, as example, that's the type of thing that you see.
Well, they have found out who's the real person, like not the real person, whose concept it was around the war room, and with Andrew Tate becoming the face of this whole movement. It was someone who was behind, and his tactics that would describe were quite cult-like. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised that if it's a cult, actually, this whole thing.
Yeah, it very
I'll
well
have to
might
look into
be.
more.
I just haven't done enough work to make that to definitively say from my opinion. If they are, I will not be surprised.
Yeah, fair.
I'll repeat this. Your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. If you're as big as I was, the most Googled man on the planet telling the truth, you will pay the price, Pierce. And that is why
There is responsibility when you have a large number of people listening to you. Yes,
Right?
correct.
If you are
Yes. Nobody disagrees with that.
So maybe you should not talk bullshit when you know that you have that much influence, or people will listen to you, or your whatever you say can be taken as for a fact. So yeah.
I was locked in that cell, and I do not regret it because I live true to God. I'm not going to sit here as a coward.
Oh, now
and
it's
not tell
about
the truth
God.
to people for as long as I live until they put a bullet in my head.
Let me ask you about the lover boy method. So the suggestion is that you and your lover and others, but let's talk about you, that you deploy the lover boy method, where you would make women fall in love with you. You would then persuade them to do
Look at his face. It's
webcam
like
stuff, right?
TikTok.
Okay, but wait, let's call it webcam stuff, right?
No, let's not call it that. The indictment is about TikTok.
Okay, what would you make the women do?
The indictment
Good
is
one.
about
That's a good one.
OnlyFans, not just TikTok. Mm-hmm.
Or what would
that's
they
what
do with
Pierce
you?
is
I
trying
don't
to
make
do here
anybody
now.
do anything.
Okay.
In fact,
Trying to make
let's
him
talk about
acknowledge
the
the
lover boy
facts.
method. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Let's imagine the Matrix is pissed off with a said individual
And
who's telling
he
too much
took the
truth
bait.
and everybody is listening to him, and they decide they're
Yep.
going to attack him with sexual assault claims. They say, he's making women do, well, we found conversations where he gave advice on how to go viral on TikTok. He's making women do TikTok, but he isn't being horrible to them. He's not hitting them. He's not being mean to them. So what can we do? Let's use the lover boy method. If I was abusive and mean,
That's-
it wouldn't
that's
say
a-
lover boy method.
that's
Do you
a
know what lover boy
lie.
method means? Being nice. He was
No, that's a lie. You had your bottom bitches hitting the girls who didn't want to do, webcam or OnlyFans.
We also have
What are you
the...
talking about? It wasn't
also
your
have
hand,
the-
so it was okay.
Who the fuck is calling me? Hey, it's Landon!
What?
Landon
What?
called
Why
me
is he
on
calling you?
Discord live right now!
What's up?
No, Landon just called me on Discord. Just...
Yeah. Well, I see him online. What's up? What's up, Landon? What are you doing?
No,
boy?
she can't hear you. He can't hear you. I didn't answer.
You know. Yeah, of course. I
No
know that.
worries.
Just give him the link to the number
back.
Friday.
No, I'm not making Landon sit through Andrew Tate.
No. Oh, okay.
I'll do
Yeah,
that to
yeah,
you.
no,
I'm not
no,
gonna do
no,
that to
that-
Landon.
Okay.
Okay,
I
but
see where your priorities lie.
yeah. Listen. You're the one who wants to talk about him all the time. Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
So,
is good.
like-
This is good. And you took the bait.
I do enjoy that he's just like, oh no, let's just change the phrasing. Let's call it this instead of this. It's not this, it's actually just being nice. It's actually this. Everything is about semantics and trying to reframe rather than actually answering, and because it's all avoidance. Like not a coward, right? Definitely not like a coward.
Bitch.
Nice and polite and kind, and they really liked him as a person, and he told them how to do TikTok.
But that's not what the
He's
lover boy.
a lover boy.
That's not.
Of course it is.
Andrew, that's not what the lover boy method is.
Absolutely it is.
The lover
I
boy
like
method
this.
is where
I like this. He's so
perpetrators
worked
woo
up now.
victims with the prospect of a loving relationship until they can be forced into abusive situations or a form of slavery.
This is garbage.
That's actually what it means.
The lover boy method is being nice to people so that you work together. Effectively, what they're trying to say.
again
here.
trying to-
I was nice
That's
to
what I
girls
said,
who
right?
asked me for TikTok advice, and they say
That's
it's the
what I
lover boy
said.
method.
He
I didn't
switches the
beat them into doing
definitions
TikTok. I
around in
didn't
his
force
brain
them. I
to
didn't threaten them.
justify
In fact,
things.
Sorry, what? I'm trying to hear what he is saying. What?
So that's what he did here. You know, Pierce is keeping him to the facts, like what actually lover boy method is, and what Andrew is doing. He's trying to switch definitions so he can justify what he did, and that's what he does with sexual relations and rape, or sexual assault and sexual relationships. He changes the definitions. The same thing about being violent towards women. As long as he's not doing it, he's not a violent person. But if his bottom bitch is doing it, he doesn't have to claim that he's a violent person. It's his bottom bitch who's being violent. So this is a very I don't know if it's fascinating, but it's a very telling point of how his thinking works and how you can actually get him.
It's trying to quick talk his way.
Here.
He's trying to quick talk his way out of it.
Yeah, and Pierce is like, no, bitch, you're gonna sit down here. We're gonna focus here. Let's go.
The thing is that you never mind. It's fine.
Let's use the lover boy method. If I was abusive and mean, they wouldn't say lover boy method. You know what lover boy method means? Being nice. He was nice and polite and kind, and they really liked him as a person, and he told them how to do TikTok.
But that's not what the
He's
lover boy.
a lover boy. Of course it is.
Andrew, that's not what the lover boy method is.
Absolutely it is.
The lover boy method is where perpetrators woo victims with the prospect of a loving relationship until they can be forced into abusive situations or a form of slavery.
This is garbage.
That's actually what it means.
The lover boy method is being nice to people so that you work together. Effectively, what they're trying to say here. I was nice to girls who asked me for TikTok advice,
okay, now it's that.
and they saying it's the lover boy method. I didn't beat them into doing TikTok.
The thing is at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you call it the lover boy method or not. What matters was the events that took place and the tactic that you described and used, and that you said that you did, the things that you said you did, and the things that you said you were teaching other people how to do. If you want to call it something else, fine. Call it the Andrew Tate method if you'd like, Mr. I'm so fucking important. Call it the Andrew Tate method. Sure, let your name go down in history as this fucking creep who did these things. Ta-da! We're probably gonna get to the halfway point and then we'll probably be done. We got like 10 more minutes.
I didn't force them. I didn't threaten them. In fact, I was like, yeah, you're very pretty. You can be pretty famous.
Was there any element of coercion?
How can there be an element? What does that even mean? Let's be professionals here. What does that even mean?
What do you think coercion is?
I was coerced into this interview.
Look at his hands. He was coerced into the interview. Okay.
How? I want to know how. How? If he was coerced, how? I want to know. Pierce, what's your secret, man? Seriously.
Yeah.
It's possible that in the contract that they had, Pierce said that if Andrew at any point gets up and goes away or quits, he won't get any payment or anything like that. I'm quite sure, and that's why.
Guys, what even is coercion? It's such a vague idea.
I don't know. It's a big word, man. Big brain, big word. I don't know. I don't know English.
You came along to me and said...
You weren't coerced into this interview.
Yes, I was.
Or don't tell me. The bullying
Pierce.
MSM said, Andrew, you've got to do an interview.
No.
And I'm going to fly all the way to Romania to do it.
You
do
didn't
me
do
a
that.
favour.
You used the lover boy method.
Piers Morgan, and I'm gonna fly all the way to Romania.
Oh, no, because Andy was saying I'm so strong, I don't get like a victim, like I don't fall victim to like mainstream media and blah blah blah, but he fell victim to this mainstream media guy, okay?
Yeah, this is Andrew Tate's just admitted to falling victim to the Matrix.
Oh yeah. So he's a victim of the Matrix. Got it. They got him, guys. It's over.
I don't know how you could possibly be out of the Matrix when you're taking money to support your lifestyle while all your assets have been seized by a government. Because the people who are giving you money would have to be rich enough to do so, thus making them part of the global conspiracy and the Matrix. Weird.
Landon's
Okay.
like, oh my god, what am I
Yeah, we-
watching?
We gotta let him go. We gotta let him go for a minute.
Coerced into this interview.
Yes, I was.
Or don't tell me the bullying
Pierce.
MSM said, Andrew, you've got to do an interview.
No, you
and
used-
I'm going to fly all
no,
the way to Romania
no,
to do it.
You
do
didn't
me
do
a
that.
favour.
You used the Loverboy method. You said, sir.
The Loverboy method?
Yep. Andrew, this is going to be a very interesting interview. We had a good one last time. You're a nice guy. We have some interesting conversations.
I didn't say you were a
I'm
nice
gonna
guy.
come along.
Wait a minute.
We're going to make some money from this interview.
Wait a minute.
Money will be made for
Wait a
both
minute.
sides.
Wait a
You
minute.
Loverboyed me.
Wait a
and
minute.
Stole the
Made.
profit.
But just to be clear, I've
my
had no
God.
conversation with you about this interview. And the conversations I've had with your intermediary were very professional. And I said, I would like to do an interview
Were
with
you nice?
I'm always nice.
Loverboy. You can't believe you used niceness to Loverboy me because this is a profitable enterprise and I was coerced here.
I make no pretense that I've come all the way from London to Romania to
Correct.
interview you because yes, I want to do it on my show and that
Correct.
will clearly benefit me and my show.
Am I a full-grown consenting adult who decided
But
to do
the
this
idea,
show?
yeah, but you're not being coerced into doing
Am
this.
I a full-grown consenting adult who decided to do this show?
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't coerced, correct?
But what's that got to do with what I've asked you?
Because you were nice to me and you're saying that
I wasn't
that's
nice to you. I didn't even talk to you.
being nice is the Loverboy method and that
I didn't-
adults have no
Andrew, I
personal
wasn't-
responsibility
I
and
wasn't
that you're
nice-
nice to someone, they become your slave.
I wasn't
He's
nice
like-
to you and I
like
didn't call
Andrew-
you a
Wait,
nice
wait.
guy.
I feel Loverboy.
I feel Loverboy. You were nice to me, but I didn't talk to you.
The great Andrew Tate got Loverboyed. Oh my god. This is the point where you know he's lost it. He lost the plot. He took the bait and now he's regretting it.
Oh, brother.
Pierce, man, you did not disappoint me. Seriously, you did not disappoint me. That was that. This is good. This is good. This is very entertaining. I'm going
This
to
is-
download both the episodes because so I can watch them later and enjoy.
This is why you need, this is why sometimes you need men and women in positions. No woman would have been able to get this interview. Because of Andrew Tate's views on women and how he treats them. You need a man, particularly, especially somebody like Pierce Morgan, who is not just a man, a successful white man who is older than Andrew Tate is and who is English. Oh my god. Oh, brother. I need a cigarette after that fucking I just witnessed.
It was a massacre. Not a massacre, like it was a murder. It was a murder on screen. My goodness. That's
Well, I
how
mean,
it's done.
did not Andrew Tate say he wasn't a coward? Did not Andrew Tate say that he was big brain logical? Did not Andrew Tate say that he was out of the Matrix and they couldn't control him and he would say whatever he wanted to say? And then now just went in and went, you could, and then lied. He said he didn't lie. And he's just like, you were nice to me. I didn't talk to you. Alright, got a little bit more.
Chat. It was a war crime.
Oh my god.
I feel Loverboy.
Dear.
This is
I'm
good.
sorry.
Well, I'm sorry.
I feel Loverboy.
You had a website, Hustlers University,
I don't care.
offering courses teaching husbands and boyfriends how to get their partners into
Absolutely
webcam.
false. The Hustlers University, which you can go to now, actually, we've changed the domain. It's university.com, is a school which teaches modern wealth creation methods. We
Chilling.
teach people how to make websites. We teach people e-com.
Why did you call it a PhD pimping hose degree?
No, you're talking about an
He's just like straight up, boom, 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 boom. He's like, now I got you, boy. Poof.
Oh my god. I mean, Andrew did lead him on. This is true,
Right,
but that's
yeah.
how this kind of
That's
interview
what I'm
works.
saying. Andrew took the bait. He took the fucking bait. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
he just ran with it.
Thank
He
you
was
so
like,
much
oh my God.
for the stretch, RNGD Gaming. I'm doing that right now. Ah, goodness
old
gracious.
video which was made satirically.
Why did you call it that?
Satirical.
Oh, that's satire.
Of course it was. 9 years ago, the internet was a very different place. And if you're going to sit here and say, oh, 9 years
Oh
ago
my
you said
gosh.
stupid things on the internet, it's
So
not a
many
gotcha
men
moment because every
followed
single
him
person has.
because
So
of
have you.
that.
No, but you'd be very.
So have you, because you advocate for the vaccine, sir. So
yeah,
you said
absolutely.
stupid things on the internet.
Yeah.
Life, that's how things go. It's satirical. I also said I'm an astronaut. Do you believe I've been to the moon? Because I haven't, believe it or not. Hustlers University teaches children
But you
how to
were-
make websites, and it teaches.
I don't think
just
Andrew
children.
Tate has the stones to be an astronaut.
Did you listen what he said? The website teaches children. He's targeting children.
Yep.
Parents out there and even fathers who kind of believe in Andrew Tate, yeah. Don't cry later if your son ends up in jail for abusing his girlfriend because she wouldn't share her TikTok earnings with his boyfriend. With her boyfriend, sorry.
Yep.
Fuck.
There's only one reason
it's
I'm asking.
fitness advice.
Only reason I'm asking you. You've repeatedly said in interviews since you were arrested that you have never categorized yourself as a pimp. You don't think you're a pimp, right?
Well, what about all the rappers? Did you ask Ice Cube if he's a pimp and a murderer and a drug dealer?
I'm not
Jay-Z sold crack.
I'm not
He's
interviewing.
not about
I'm not interviewing them. I'm asking you whether you have at any
Good,
stage
good.
in the
Yeah,
last
good
15 years
Stay on
been
point.
a pimp.
Of course, I've not been a pimp. I've said I'm a pimp. I've said I'm an astronaut. I've said I'm a cowboy. I've said I'm the strongest man in the world. I've said I'm James Bond.
He's
Throw me in
angry.
jail.
He's lost
Are you
it.
just
Put me in jail.
Okay,
I deserve it.
Put you in jail for being hyperbolic and a liar? That's not what you're going
Yeah,
to jail
sure.
for.
Sure, we can do that too if you want to. If you're volunteering, let's go. Oh God.
10 years ago, I made a joke on the internet.
So here's my question: Are you a fantasist?
I'm not a fantasist.
Do you have a persona that's just not you?
Of course not. I am me.
Well, if
Good
you are you,
question.
why would you repeatedly call yourself a pimp and then now say you've never been a pimp?
Are you going to sit here and say that because I've once said, oh,
I'm curious whether if you're trying to say to me you didn't
Yep.
mean any of the things you said. So I'm
Oh my
asking
God,
myself, well,
Pierce
why should I believe anything you
interrupted
say
him
now?
And he stopped.
In other words,
Yep.
is what you say actually what you mean? Is Andrew Tate real? Or do you have a complete persona that you fueled for money that has nothing to do with the real you? I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, before Andrew Tate
Boom.
answers, that
Boom.
is such a good fucking question. And the reasons this is such a good question is because it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22 for Andrew Tate. And Pierce just boxed him into a fucking corner. And so Andrew has to answer this one way or another, right? This is such a good fucking question. And he had to, like,
Andrew
string
gave
him
him
in to
the-
get there. Yeah.
Andrew gave him all those tools to do that himself when he said it was
Yep.
satire. He acknowledged that he did say that, and then he tried to fluff it and say it was satire. So
Yep.
Pierce grabbed both of them and said, which one is it then? Are you a
Right.
real guy, what like you claimed at the start of the interview, or are you a this is a satirical character?
If Andrew
And-
if Andrew Tate is a character, then the consequences and what that means is devastating to
Waiting for his business.
devastating for his business, devastating for any of his claims about vaccines, any of his claims about
Yeah.
Hustler University. It's fraudulent. It's admitting to fraud at that point.
Yeah. And so yeah, before people who support Andrew Tate start saying, "Oh, this is a loaded question." No, it's not a loaded question.
No.
Loaded question is when you have not admitted to anything and you are being asked you're being given two choices you have never admitted to. That's what.
Or it's a loaded question where you have to accept incrimination of something that
you
has
never
not been demonstrated. So like the classic one that
Yeah.
everybody uses is, when did you stop beating your wife?
Yeah.
Right. This is a catch-22 question, like, but it's a legitimate
Yeah,
one.
but there's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference here. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's settle in
right.
for. Let's see how Andrew tries to wiggle his way out of this one. Look at his face. Ooh.
Exaggerated on the internet
boy.
9 years ago for comedic effect. I'd walk into
Exaggerated.
a nightclub and there'd be girls at my table, like every other man who walks into a nightclub, and I'd say, "Pimpin'." Oh no, put me in jail, 93
It's not
days.
the
is
question,
enough for
Andrew.
the cockroaches, I should go back. This is a matrix attack, Pierce. Every single person, every single man
It's
out
not
there
the
has done things
question.
worse than
Matrix
I've done.
attack.
In fact, I will argue, if you put 99.9% of men
Whataboutism?
through the level of scrutiny I've been through by multiple federal agencies, you will find a lot worse than him saying he was a pimp on the internet 9 years ago. You will find actual genuine crime. And I've done nothing. I live true to God. This is all
They
garbage.
found it, and
it's
you're
not real.
ignoring.
Like I said,
and you don't want to.
He admitted to laundering money, though. That's in the things.
Indictment.
He
Yeah.
said that he did. Anyway, sorry. I want to see what Pierce says in response, because Andrew didn't answer the question.
A lot worse than him saying he was a pimp on the internet 9 years ago. You will find actual genuine crime. And I've done nothing. I live true to God. This is all garbage, and it's not real.
Like I said to you, I don't know if you're guilty or not.
I do,
Okay.
and I am not guilty.
No, but
It's a matrix attack.
I want to be clear to you.
Great.
I'm not preempting your guilt. I've come here with a completely open mind. You've been charged with
That's a
serious
good way to put it,
offences,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I am not going to judge you because I'm not a judge. And this is not a courtroom, right? It's
not what he's
but
here
it's
to do,
interesting
right.
to me that one of the biggest charges against you is that you're a misogynist, and you've always said I'm not a misogynist. And then the last time I interviewed you, you said, well, I may have said some things that may have been misconstrued, but.
That's an interesting decision on Pierce's part. He didn't force the question.
He's trying to pacify him.
No, well, he let
he's
him.
trying to
He
pacify
let him. He let him not answer. He's doing. I don't know what Pierce Morgan's intention is. In like maybe he has other things that he really wants to get to, but I think it's very, very interesting that he let him non-answer such a direct question. To me, I view that as like a very clear indicator that Andrew can't answer the question.
Yeah.
Right?
And what Pierce is doing here is he's like, I know you cannot answer the question. Now my audience also know you cannot answer the question. That's it. That's all I need from you.
And your audience knows you can't answer the question.
That's it. That's all was needed. That's it and done. He got what he needed, and because he switched, now he can keep Andrew there for further like whatever time is left there for the interview. Because Andrew's like, oh okay, he spared me. That's what he's thinking. He spared me. I don't have to answer the question. He's relieved, so he will focus now whatever now Pierce throws his way next. So that's what's happening now.
We are halfway through this. I think it probably now is a good time to call it, and maybe we can come back for a part 2.
Yes, I think so. Part 2 would be a good one. A good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's settling him back down. So I think like reaching like he's doing this.
Yeah.
You gotta climax it, let it lull, climax it, let it lull, with a slow upturn. So we're probably gonna have to come back for a part 2.
But Pierce is in control here. Clearly, he's in control. Andrew is not. He is trying, but no, it's not happening. So yeah, good job, man. I would say good job.
So far,
I guess.
So far, he's done a good job.
And you need a lot of mental stamina and mental strength to keep on track like that. So whatever it is, a testament to his his experience.
We've seen Andrew try to bait Pierce a couple of times, and he hasn't succeeded yet. He's got him to answer back, but never like where Pierce has like lost his like. Sometimes he's like, "Oh, come on,"
or gone on a monologue like Andrew keeps on going on.
Right.
No, he just says it simply. This is what I believe. That's it, and this is why I believe because it has happened to me personally, and this is what the facts are. That's it, and then he moves on. He's like, "Okay, next question. Let's go."
Pierce being
he doesn't care what Andrew thinks about his opinion.
Pierce being very real in response to Andrew's COVID denial is such an interesting juxtaposition as a decision that Pierce made. Pierce is very calculated through this, right? So I'm basically trying to take whatever Pierce is saying, I'm trying to take it as if Pierce has like considered and thought about how he's going to approach this and what his intentions are. Yeah. I'm not making that assumption of Andrew Tate because Andrew's the one getting fucking fished in. If I thought that was what Andrew was doing at the beginning. And Pierce has managed to get him out of that shell, and that's why he's gotten more emotive. Andrew's always overconfident.
No, because it's his domain, right? It's a country where he's familiar with. It's the environment he's familiar with. And the last time he had an interview, the 2 interviews he had, one with the BBC woman, it just went like bad for her, in my opinion. And Candace Owens, it went in his favor. So his experiences. Like, he's been getting wins all the time. So he is overconfident, and I think that also worked in Pierce's, and Pierce is deciding to go kind of into the lion's den, right? So that kind of worked in his favor.
I don't think it's a lion's den for him. I think that Pierce Morgan knows that Andrew Tate is going to respect him already to begin with. So I don't think he's necessarily going into like a situation that's going to be incredibly dangerous. This is the type of interview that I would have liked
Not
to
dangerous,
see.
I'm like metaphorically.
I was very critical about metaphorically. I was very critical about CNN and Anderson Cooper's handling of Trump when Trump came out of trial. One of the trials. I would have liked to see this style of interview from CNN. whether it was Jake Tapper or whether it was Anderson Cooper, it doesn't really matter, but this is the type of, like, the style of interview that I would have liked to have seen. Something where it's like, yeah, you can let him talk and you can let him say wrong things, but it needs to have appropriate pushback through, and it needs to be somebody who can pull somebody like Trump out of his shell, out of his persona, out of what he's presenting. But good luck. Like, Trump would be one of the hardest people to get because he's so all over the place. How do you get somebody like Trump to be genuine in a professional set, like, interview? You'd have to get him onto the back foot. And Pierce is able to do that with Andrew Tate, but I don't even know who would be able to do that with somebody like
with Trump,
with Donald Trump.
Because Trump doesn't I think so one difference between Andrew and Trump is, I think so, when Pierce was, like, interviewing him, Andrew didn't personally attack him. Trump is not shy to do that. He will start personally attacking the person interviewing him. So
yeah,
I think so that's one distinction there. So far Pierce, he did a good job in my opinion. We'll see next time, like, where it goes. But it's this is how you do, like Chef said, this is how you do interviews with people you think are will fly off the gasket, or will try and leave, or will, try and fluff and go into whataboutisms. That's how you control.
There's a interesting, Alex said, it's Pierce is doing a good job because he has to do it to keep his job. It's like, well, yeah, you have to do a good job to keep your job. But I think so, because he's independent now, isn't he? Pierce? I don't think so. You're thinking of Tucker Carlson.
Oh, okay. I
I
don't know that. I
don't think that I don't think that Piers Morgan is independent now, is he? I don't think so. I might be wrong about that though. If you're being a little bit more, like, I guess specifically critical, you could say that, or I guess not cynical. Cynical is the word I'm looking for. If you're being cynical about, like, Piers Morgan is giving pushback about COVID stuff, not because he believes in COVID stuff, but because if he doesn't give pushback on COVID stuff, he would lose his job. I mean, sure, but I don't really see, like, I don't think Pierce's motivations in this situation matter that much. Like, I don't think that's that important. I think as long as he's doing the right thing, then I don't think his reasoning as to why he's doing the correct thing matters right now, because I don't think it's necessarily problematic. But that's just my opinion, though.
Well, if it would have devolved the situation further, maybe then we would have gone, like, to the, like, why did he want to do it a certain way that devolved the situation, right? Like the BBC interview, right? You're like, why would you go that way? Why would you do it, with that approach? The
BBC does have higher standards, yes.
The only reason you can think is they wanted to make a controversy about it to get more views or something like that, or they wanted to hone in Andrew Tate's audience.
Oh, he was fired? Pierce is
Yeah,
independent now. He was fired from the BBC. Oh, okay. So this is his own show. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I was like, so
Okay,
that's why
okay.
he has to do a good job. So because he's his own earner now. So
I guess he can't lose his
so
job
that's
now.
So that's why
revenue.
I think so. That
Interesting.
Yeah, that's where you would, like, start questioning the motives of why.
Sure.
Someone's doing that. So yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this interview is from 3 days ago that it was posted, at least on YouTube. Also,
okay.
Athens asked an interesting question, Manya, and we can both answer this one, and then we'll probably get out of here. Is this interview better than Nick Suter versus Kyle or Andrew versus JF? Okay. Pierce Morgan is at least a professional. Nick Suter versus Kyle was pussy shit. That was pussy shit.
That Nick Suter and Kyle. Okay, sorry. No, that's not even comparable to this. It's not even comparable. It doesn't even fall on that list. Not even on the 100th rank. No.
I read through the questions that Nick Suter posted for that interview for what he was supposed to or what he was intending on asking him, and he didn't get to, like, any of the ones that would be even difficult in any capacity. God, he did such a bad thing. Or did such a bad job, I should say. Andrew versus JF. was barely an interview. That was just Andrew
no.
giving a platform to JF so JF could bullshit and Andrew could get money. That was all that was. That was just a... at least Piers Morgan is giving pushback to some interesting things that Andrew Tate is saying. It's also a lot harder for Andrew to interview JF about the JF's missing significant other because there's not a whole ton of information actually available about it. So it would be a lot more difficult to do versus like Nick and Kyle, because a lot of that information was publicly available. So
Yeah,
you know,
Nick and Kyle,
that was a joke. That was such a it was pathetic.
You wouldn't even say it was a formality. It was like a fucking, what do you say, a skit or something.
Yeah.
Parody.
All right. Any last words before we get out of here? We're gonna be live tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern. It's the tavern.
Ah, yes, of course.
Monty's just like,
have to remind me.
what?
Listen, I'm still in the assignment mode, man. Sundays are usually for assignments, so it's like. But yeah, okay. So tomorrow's tavern. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll have some more fun.
We're gonna talk about some AI stuff and some other stuff and things. We're gonna be doing Zelda on Sunday on Twitch. So if you follow us on Twitch, the tavern will be exclusively on YouTube. So deal with it, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. But Zelda will be on Twitch. So there you go. This is your options. There's also a couple videos that are coming out as always and as usual.
Check out
like and subscribe and shit, whatever.
Aaron.
Oh
Yeah,
the
go
video
and
from
watch the
yesterday.
videos. It was like
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
chef's kiss. That's how it's done.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. I think that's everything.
All right.
Get the hell out of here.
Mhm.
Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye bye.
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Affect Friday.
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 It's going to be fun.